The following show is for mature audiences only.
Watch the tape, and when you see the tape, you know the tape doesn't lie, and the tape doesn't lie.
Akeem Hicks posted a picture of himself sacking Aaron Rodgers on Instagram. Everybody started to melt down, started going crazy, and then as quick as it went up, it was deleted. Are you 100% sold that there's 0% chance that he will be a Chicago Bear? Do you think that it's still potentially in play at some point?
I think it's definitely in play because at this point, there's not a lot of money out there. And so, you know, it's not like they're going to have to go through and overpay him. And look, he was always a good locker room guy. He's always been a leader. He's always been, you know, the most overused football phrase. He's always been a warrior. Yep. So I think in the way that he kind of developed late on, it's a good reference point for some of these young kids. So yeah, I think there's a chance. And you know, we'll see what happens because he'd be an interesting guy on the interior of the line.
Oh man, I think I might have mentioned it last week, but Harb Arkush was talking about somebody's like, can he play 3-tech? And he's like, oh no. Akeem Hicks I think he would be a fucking destroyer as a 3-tech.
There's nothing on the defensive line that a healthy Akeem Hicks can't do.
Totally agree. I mean, you don't think that? Can you imagine him lining up with fucking Robert Quinn and Travis Gibson? I mean, or your third. Why am I blanking on the rookie that they just brought in? The fifth
Dominique
round? Robinson. You know, their plan for him is, you know, the NASCAR package. Get out there on fucking 3rd and long and don't worry about anything but going after the fucking quarterback. And you put Akeem Hicks is a fucking animal when he's healthy. It's just been few and far between that he's been healthy. But I almost look at it. I think there's more to it than just his play. He's the ultimate fucking galvanizer to a team. On a team that really needs it. We throw a name out here that maybe not everybody's going to talk about, but he's a guy that's been around and he's always been a contributor, is DeAndre Houston Carson. I would have zero problems putting a captain patch on that guy. Yep.
He'd be your special teams guy. And look, we love that guy just because he just does his job.
Yep.
Week in, week out, consistency, for a 6th round pick, what he's been able to do and carve out for himself from a really small school is impressive. I'd have no problem with him. It was like he'd be like the Sherrick McManus at that point, right? And that's a great call. Also, right. I think the way they've been talking about Lucas Patrick, who is looking to be the leader that we've wanted. I think, you know, the way I look at it, you have 5 captains, 2 on offense, 2 on defense, and 1 on special teams. It would not shock me if it was Lucas Patrick over Monty. It's not a shot against Monty. He is an individual contributor, much like Roquan. He's not known to be very vocal. He just works his ass off. There's, again, it's not slighting him for that. But Lucas seems to be a very vocal, leadership focused guy, and he's got some experience in a winning situation. Those things tend to lead them to be captains.
Yeah, and I mean, what did he sign, a 2-year deal? I think Lucas Patrick
correct.
Was. That's a guy, if you get to November and he's exceeding all expectations as a captain, he's 100% a guy that you invest into and spend some of that 2023 cap money and, you know, solidifying a spot on that offensive line long term. So I think that's another great name, and I wouldn't be shocked whatsoever. You know, nobody is talking about Cody Whitehair, and I don't know if that's by
forgotten.
He really has, and I think he's been a guy that has regressed every year since he signed that contract. I know he was a guy that was very, very close with Mitch Trubisky. And to me, he's out of shape. I hope
He's got this Josh Sitton. Sorry to cut you off. The Josh Sitton pod, right?
You just apologize for cutting me off, man. You might have to kick Phil off this network, man. This is so polite.
Which you remember when Sitton came, part of the reason was he always had a problem getting into shape. And that's, I do think, and one of the things that we'll focus on as we get closer to the season too, though, is the kind of the wide zone that we're going to do blocking scheme. I think plays to him a lot better. You know, when we drafted him, they always talked about he's got that in a phone booth strength kind of thing. Yeah. He doesn't seem to have that strength anymore.
It's all in his gut.
Yeah. But if when we get to the wide zone, right, and you're kind of doing these stretch run plays, and you're getting Cody more into space, Cody's not a guy that you want mauling with somebody 70 snaps a game. He's someone you want to pull and get out on the outside and get in space. And that, again, is the beauty of this wide zone that they're going to be running. This is a year that either kind of makes Cody and keeps him here, or it's one that makes him very cuttable afterwards.
But I am fascinated to see how they're going to line these guys up, even with the backups and where they're going to be, because I think it's going to be, for the first time in recent memory with me, there's more than one guy beyond the 5 starters that I'm intrigued with that have talent. And that's something that, I mean, Jesus, they drafted Tayo Fabulage, and we were, this kid was great as a freshman at Texas, and we're like, maybe they unearthed this gem. Well, these Cunningham has been a big part. Who's a team that believes in defensive line and offensive line? The Philadelphia Eagles. That's why you saw them trade up for Jordan Davis this year. They unearthed the rugby player a couple of years ago. Like 6'8", 385, whatever the fuck he is. But they invest in that over and over and over again. And there are so many guys, like, we say this a lot, but really this year, these preseason games, when they bring in the backups and then they bring in the third string, it's going to be fascinating, really on both sides of the ball, to see who's playing. But really this offensive line, to me, is really going to be it's I don't know. Everybody's worried about Justin Fields and excited to see where that's going to go. But to me, there is a lot of guys. There's a lot of components to work with there that the Bears have never had. You talked about Ja'Tyre Carter, and the Bears would have one guy like that. But now we have a guy like Braxton Jones that we're legitimately excited to watch tape on and see the attitude that Ryan Poles has been talking about.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Here we go. Trading up.
100.
Yes! What? Oh my God. Here it is!
The tape never lies.
The people drop off, but we still keep rocking.
You'll never know how good your football team's going to be until you play with maximum effort. Keeping it 100.
Open competition over the North and never give it back.
Smartest man.
My Chicago Bears select Justin Fields, quarterback, Ohio State.
Guess who's back? The two dudes that kept it real. Dynamic duo
or that you love the smartest man at Dr. Phil. Breaking down the film, never a problem, kick it straight. Most shows focus on stats, we focus on the tape. We keeping it 100, never running east to west. We coming with that truth, cause that's what our fans expect. Cut off the freaking anchor, forward to be free. But don't you worry, Shane's got the dumbest tweets. It ain't no secret, Phil and Shane got some haters, but now they're all stuck like the Jew and now and later. Debaters, frauds get kicked like Coach Tabor. Cuts had to be made, we added a barber moderator. Up and down, boys got you double checking. Sad sacks trolling like a fool, drunk texting. Flexing on the truth cause you know they never change. Real, recognize real, that's what you get with Phil and Shane. Give me some fucking names. We do when we're breaking down the Bears. Fuck a play or a captain, all of the unfair. The tape never lies, the truth you see. We laugh, we analyze, so there's no babies like Maybelline. Straight to the truth with acumen and facts. We got a sad nerd, but it's not just good nerd stats. Car crash, big impact like Trick Sack. Every Wednesday night you got the smartest man and Phil back. Now we know you're smiling like a fat kid with fun dip. We're back better than ever and we're keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Keep it 100. Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Justin Fields gets outside the pocket, puts that ball perfectly where only Mooney can get it. 1 point, 2 feet.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Keeping it 100. Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Keep it 100.
Keeping it 100. Birds never lie.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, this is Claudio the Barber, and this is TTNL's Keeping It 100, the best Bears show on the planet. We got another great show for you tonight. Of course, we got from NBC Sports and the Under Center podcast. Kenneth Davis is coming back on. So let's just get to it. Let's bring on the boys. Shane, the smartest man, Marcel. I got it right. And Draft Dr. Phil.
Where'd he go?
There he is.
Yo,
There he is. Yo,
where am I at?
there you are.
Phil, I'm in space.
I'm still not in the studio. I'm still kicking it live in the studio.
Yeah.
I couldn't find the
That
normal
is Shane
one, so I
and
had to-
Cars doing a show together by themselves.
Oh, yeah, boy, those views fucking say otherwise.
Yeah.
Boy. Not that I count views.
You
though.
count views, bro? Let me
Don't
check
pay
how
for
many
them.
views.
Count them.
Yes.
You sure you don't pay for
They're
them?
too expensive for me. I don't got that fucking 15, 12 money. Whatever the fuck they're 12, 15. I ain't got that Bratcher money.
The Bratcher?
Yeah.
The Bratcher money? Now, what's
Bratcher.
up? What's
So
up?
we miss you. We miss you.
Yeah, I want to
Welcome
start
to the
out by
event.
saying to everybody, I just want to thank everybody for trying to get this light. It sucks here. Do I look so pasty over
You
here?
look yellow.
A little
You
bright.
got- you're all jaundiced up.
Let me just turn it
There
off.
There you
How's
go.
that?
That's better. Yeah.
It's fucking light. Anyway, I just want to thank everybody for their kindness. It's been a very difficult time for me and my family. And if you didn't know, I'll just say this now. My ex-wife passed away, and it's been very hard as a dad and a father in real life we talk about vulnerability, keeping it 100, to be a dad, for your children. So I needed some time and some space to really be there as a father. And when you have girls, it's so different because there's this father-daughter relationship, and then obviously ex-wife, I didn't get along with her at all, to be completely honest. So it's very difficult to navigate this. So in true form of this show and about me and Shane always being vulnerable, it was probably one of the hardest times of my life and still is. So the up and downs of emotions for your children as well as your own personal self, there's bigger things than football. Family is always first. and everybody should know how much I love this game of football. So you really realize who your friends and who is your passionate people that go out of their way to check in with you, or just to say something nice, or to let you know they're thinking. I don't give a shit if you have a blue check mark, or if you're a fan, or if you're somebody I don't even know. No one ever bothers me. You know what bothers me is complete dishonesty, negativity, and just deceitfulness. That stuff bothers me. So I'm trying to center myself in a peaceful place and let energy, big energy person, let positive energy in, because I honestly am being so honest with you. It's been a mixed bag. So to be able, though, to do a show with my dad on Sunday where we broke down Velus Jones was so therapeutic, in all honesty. So just got me away from everything. And now coming back tonight, I was a little anxious, Shane. And I never
nothing wrong
feel
with
that way, because I don't know what to expect. You know, you come on the show and you open yourself up all the time, and then you're gone, and everybody wants to know, and you have to figure out how you're going to, like, there's no script on the show. So I didn't even know I was going to say this much, but you all probably had a bet in the background. Phil's probably but I really think that this network, this show, as our child, Shane, so to speak, that it's a place to be honest. Obviously, the umbrella is the Chicago Bears and football and having fun. But in all honesty, this has been a tough time for me personally, and I owe it to you on the network, all of you guys that stepped up and really showed the kind of togetherness and teamwork to really stand in there for me. And that meant so much to me. Honestly, I can't even put it into words, the value that I have here at this network with everybody, even Jackal. I'm kidding. Jackal is one of the most important people in my corner, to be perfectly honest tonight. But all of you guys at TTNL, the producers, AB, Ron G, Cool Kennedy, Caden Whitlow, Cherie, everybody except Claudio. He still charged me for a haircut, for God's sake.
Of course, I gave you half off, bro. Come on. It was only $50.
I kid. But you fans, I mean, when I told Shane when we first started that I went to Chicago, and we were at the old network, people recognized me on the street. We weren't even on video. Then to go there this past year and have guys screaming out the window in front of my wife and my niece, who was pregnant at the time, "Draft Dr. Phil, baby, keeping it 100, keeping it 100," and yelling. It's gone worldwide. And you fans that have gone out of your way, because TTNL is family, thank you for giving me this forum where I can open up and just be grateful for my daughters, and how strong they've been has made me realize how important my wife Steph has been in their life, and how important a father is to their child. So I really appreciate you fans giving me that positive energy, because it's not been easy. So thank you so much.
I want to thank you, man, because I had $8.50, so I just made $50 on the crying. So it was perfect timing there. So I cashed in. You got to break it up.
I thought of Steph, and it got me. I was getting through it. I was about to wrap it up. But I think it's important. I never want to hide from the truth. and it's been very hard.
Yeah,
so thank you all, honestly, that have supported my family, because even my sons are going to be affected. It's
100%.
It is. And TTNL, I mean, for everything we've had to deal with, Shane, from your dad, your mom, your son, Riley, and Chris Jackal's son getting hit by a car, Claudio's daughter having brain surgery, his other daughter going into the hospital. I don't want to share too much of it, but we've really had a lot that we've had to deal with as a family here at this network. And you fans always step up. You real fans. There's some people here that are pouncing to steal, but the reality is I can't thank you guys enough for the support, and it doesn't go unnoticed. Trust me, it doesn't go unnoticed. So
no, that's awesome, man. You're practicing what you preach, and that's all anybody can do. Because if we keep on repeating the same mantra over and over again and not actually living it, then none of it means anything. So you're a testament to that, as our leader. And no matter what happens, that each and every one of us will be there through thick and thin in the foxhole with you, for your family, for anybody connected to you. So
I
that's what it's all
definitely
about.
want to say one last thing, that I didn't feel for 1 second that the brotherhood and the sisterhood at TTNL was a sham. I didn't. And that's a testament to everybody still standing here at this network that showcases the kind of compassion and empathy that we expect. I mean, look at this world today. I mean, I'm hugging my kids tighter and tighter. I don't know how to speak it, because it's not a political stance. It's just a reality of this world.
Right.
And it's surreal. You only get one life. And me and Shane brought a fan on our show, and it was talking about the Chicago Bears. It became a song, kind of what would we call it? An anthem for the network. There's hope. We hope there's hope. That's the mantra for the Bears, but that's the mantra in life with people. Because I'll just say this last thing. My father preached it. Surround yourself with good people. I'm telling you right now, we got a great group of people here at TTNL. And when we say it's family, we really mean that. And you fans, you guys aren't effing around. You really, honestly show so much compassion and pride. And I try to walk that way every day with every person that has left me or Shane an email, a DM. We saved your life. And you read that and you kind of like, how did I save his life? By making him laugh about Charles Leno or whatever it was. And then they go into detail, and you just put it into perspective even more so now for me. It's like, wow, this
Absolutely.
Network, this show, this everything is that powerful. So I owed it, and I owe it. I didn't know how I was going to say it, but I want to say thank you. Thank you to all the fans and the family at TTNL. And let's just send some positivity that if I can weather, if Claudio can weather, if Shane could weather, if you could weather whatever storms that you face. Cherie, how could I forget you as well? Losing your brother, all of the tragedy, we faced it right here and talked about it, and we'll continue to do so. And hopefully this suffering that we've had with the Chicago Bears comes to an end in regards to what we're seeing with Coach Eberflus. Now, as a football coach, I'll transition from vulnerability. I've never been afraid to talk to a team and show my emotion like I did tonight. and I never will. And I feel like Eberflus has I finally found a coach of the Bears since Ditka that wears his heart right here. And it's going to preach what it is that the expectation is going to be. Now, there's going to be people on that side of the fence, just like there are in life every day, from politics to video games to shows and movies. No one's going to agree. But for me, as someone who breaks down tape and looks at it, I'm finally hearing what I think a maniacal head coach recipe needs to be. And that's honest with your team, honest with the media, and most importantly, honest with your fan base by knowing that temperature of the culture of your fans are so rabid that even in losing, they're there. So how about change the culture and expect players to play at a level of toughness, togetherness, and emotion that you expect. And that's their draft class that we continue to break down on our network. And that's what Coach Eberflus is talking about. And again, it's just talk now, but that's the first part of the chapter of the book. You know, you read the foreword, you read the preview, you watch a movie, you go to the theater. I don't know about you, but I show up early so I could see the upcoming trailers because I want to see if I'm going to like to go see another movie. Right now, I'm at the trailers of this movie and I'm liking what I'm hearing. That's where I am. I don't know. What about you, Shane?
No, man, I love everything that I'm hearing. I've been burned so many times. I'm reserving my complete judgment until I see, what happens on the field. But real quick, Phil, before we get into that, I know, so it'll be 2 weeks on Friday, just to let everybody know what was going on with Phil when he shared the news about his ex-wife. Obviously, I wanted him to remove himself, concentrate on his family, and he totally agreed. And Phil was doing what needed to be done. I reached out to George Bayless, Barlissimo, let him know what was going on because I knew we had a show coming up, just to alert him, let him know that we were going to have a show coming up on Sunday that George and I were going to lead without Phil, as I shared the news with him. So everything was cool there. And about 24 hours later, George reached out to me and let me know that he was no longer going to be doing shows. His words exactly, just so I'm not speaking out of line. Tomorrow will be my last show. I just don't want to do shows anymore. I won't be doing anything on YouTube. That's fine. I understand George's stance. When we're talking about family, you want to concentrate on your family first and foremost, because without them, you have nothing. So I don't know exactly what that means for George in terms of if he's going to be visible on social media. He said, moving forward, don't ask me about that. If you have any questions about that, ask George. What I can tell you is George is no longer a part of this network now or in the future. We're going to thank George for what he did with us in the past. And that's the TTNL update as far as that goes. And so just like a cornerback that gets beat over the top, you turn the page, you move on, and you go to the next play. And that's what we're going to do here. But yeah, Phil, back to Eberflus real quick. Listening to him, he was on interview, and you guys know how I tend to listen to things a little bit differently. He said that how he came up with Saban was his college coach when he first started, and he goes, I was part of a program that was kind of going from the ground up and turning a program around, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing here with the Chicago Bears. That to me stood out because he knows what he's got ahead of him. And you see the accountability that we've been screaming for already. You can say whatever you want about Jalen Johnson. He is 100% being held accountable by this head football coach. It's not, oh, Jalen, you've been good in the past. You're going to have a slot here. It's no, you're not going to show up to things that we think that you should show up to. Then you're going to have to earn your spot back. There was a lot of instances last year where Jalen was getting fined for being late to meetings. If you're not going to act like a pro, you're not going to play as a pro. You have to earn that. Jalen Johnson's 23 years old, and he's not good enough for this game. So I praise Matt Eberflus for starting this out with accountability, because let's be honest, I mean, that's cornerback number one on this team when he's locked in and ready to go. And for him to hold him accountable, that sends a message loud and clear throughout the entire team. Doesn't matter if you're young, doesn't matter if you're a high draft pick, it doesn't matter what your salary is. It's all about accountability, and that's all we can ask for.
Practice what you preach. As a coach, you have to hold everybody at that same level. We've not seen that again since Mike Ditka has been in Chicago. You guys talk about your pizza. New Haven pizza is 20 times better than Chicago pizza. And I'm just going to keep it 100 there. And I've watched Chicago football coaches be less than stellar when it comes to accountability across the board. I'm a defensive guy, so that I'm an offensive guy. No, it's a head coach. We haven't seen that, in my professional opinion. But in my professional opinion, this next guest in the TTNL way is somebody I can honestly say is a brother. Like, that's family. And when family comes, the good silverware comes out. Fold the napkins up, get it all dressed up for our next guest, my guy from the Under Center podcast, the host on NBC Sports, as well as that Davis show. It's Kenneth Davis.
Bears fans, when you're not listening to all the dope TTNL content we're pumping out on a daily basis, I suggest you check out the rundown for our next guest. This guy is the new host of the Under Center podcast from NBC Sports Chicago, the host of That Davis Show and Flippin' Friends. But tonight, he's going to turn the hosting duties over to Phil and Shane, so he can sit back and chop it up with the fellas and talk some collaboration, Chicago style. TTNL fans, he's Kenneth Davis.
There he is. He's on mute.
I muted myself. I apologize. Wait, is that Cool Kennedy? Who does that voiceover for that right there?
That's Lawrence
Fleming.
Oh, I met Lawrence. He was there with the young lady. Lawrence, with that voice.
Yeah,
like
he's got to get in better shape, right, Kenneth? Doesn't he?
Yeah, right. It makes me feel bad.
Yeah.
Looking like, damn, man. When do you not work out? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on, gentlemen?
He was working out with the wings at the bar.
Yeah.
We're gonna
we went back to Dick on us. Lord.
Yes, I had to, Ken. I listen. I'm just watching it from a coach's eye, and I've not seen this kind of focus throughout team before. I'm just keeping it 100. Lovey, people get upset, but I felt Lovey obviously couldn't gather the hens to roost when it came to the offensive side of the football. He always was looking for the answers instead of having them. And as a head coach, you got to have those answers, and you can't be a seesaw. And it always is with the Bears. Oh, they got a good defense. Offense is terrible. We finally got a good offense. Defense sucks. It's like you haven't put it together. So the people that combat this stuff, for me, I'll have all of my, if we're playing spades, I got my spades ready to drop because I'm going to win those hands. and I'm gonna
I know, man. I don't know what Connecticut pizza tastes like, so I don't even know what the hell he's talking about.
Once he gets out here,
because that's what people in the streets usually say. Like, listen, that Chicago pizza is one thing, but that Connecticut pizza.
You guys have
New Haven.
You have New Haven pizza. Now I've gotten 2 pictures from fans saying, "Look, I'm in Chicago," and the sign is saying New Haven Pizza.
All right, first of all, let's be very clear. We're talking about Chicago pizza for the most part. We're talking tavern style. We're not talking about that deep dish.
That's what you guys are known, and you're promoting.
No, that's not. That's what they're known for. What we eat.
So I haven't had the tavern.
Yeah, don't. When we're talking Chicago pizza, we really mean tavern style pizza. Yes, you can throw on the huge pizza pie, but that's not what you grab on a Saturday night. You know what I'm saying?
Just
like,
keeping it real with you, Kenneth.
I'm just letting you know.
I have
so you know.
tasted both, except maybe I haven't tasted tavern.
You got to get a good tavern. We got to get to a good tavern place. First of all, forget all that mess.
Yes.
How are y'all doing? Just checking in. I'm always gonna check on Riley, Shane, and Phil, your family's going through it.
Yes.
I don't know how to feel because I've unfortunately haven't had something like that take place. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? We're living in some rough times. You know what I'm saying? We're living in some really rough times, and it's just, I'm sorry, man. So I just want to get that, and I hate, especially when you're doing something to take your mind off of it to bring it up. But I just want to let you know that people care. You know what I'm saying? Your kids are on our minds, and that's still both of you. You know what I'm saying? With Riley fighting back the way he fought back like a champ, and what your beautiful kids are going through right now. It's prayers and there's wishes out there, man. So just want you both to know that, man. But it's some rough times, fellas. It's some rough times.
You're all class, and I did address it early, and you're one of those people that I was thinking of. Sometimes you want to keep your circle tight, and on this show, this network, it's important. You can't just say it at one level and not be it. So the show is keeping it 100. We always talk vulnerability. Somebody else out there could be going through the same thing. And if I'm helping one fucking person, then I am doing what God wanted me to do. And
facts.
I'm here every Wednesday. I'm talking Chicago Bears. Claudio thought it was over when the season ends. He's like, all right, we'll see you next. I go, no, we go all year.
Hold on. Before you leave that dude, exit out that door. Hold on. Come on back here, right? Nah, yeah. That's the thing about the Bears. I mean, I'm sure with other football teams, we're Bears guys. But it's the Bears. It's a huge. It's no off-season when it comes to the Bears.
Not at all.
Soap operas. There's speculation. There's investigation. People are putting things together now with Roquan and this whole situation. I think that's where the conversation has to start. I mean, I'm not. I got to shout out.
Let's leave with allegedly.
Bear down, cuz put it out there for me. I saw it from him to keep it 100. Shane didn't send me anything. In fact, T-Mobile fucked me over today, and I had no signal service. So I just saw that, and that was the end of my service. It was alleged. Now, I know each of us should speak on this because Shane, you talked about this, about the username or whatever it's called.
Well, yeah, and I'm not going to say that it doesn't matter. I mean, any accusation approaching anything that the lady said was done, it doesn't matter the environment, it doesn't matter the context. It's something that you have to take serious,
right?
And this can come off as, just by me bringing this up, that I'm dismissing her allegations, and I am completely not. It's hard for me to I don't want to say not take serious, but the screen names that this girl, Monster Queef and Flick My Bean, are the screen names that she's using to put this story out there. I don't think helps. I don't want to say her cause, but why not put your name on it or have
we don't know where she's at though mentally. Again, because it's one of those things you don't play with. And, again, it's alleged. Listen, we don't know mentally where she may be
Absolutely.
truth or no truth. You know what I'm saying? So like things like that, I won't even touch. And I mean, your point is valid with us looking at it from what we would deem usually as common sense. But man, we're living in a total different era.
Oh,
especially
it
I'm
is.
just saying for our from our ages than what these younger people are living in. And the rules and decorum that we held where, for instance, what you're saying, if you're doing something serious, you would think you want everything attached to it to be taken seriously. But with these kids, and even if it's not these kids being an adult, look, I don't know. I always lead with, and this is wrong, I hope it's false because I hope stuff like that doesn't happen to women.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like
Exactly.
murdering and rape, I just no. It's no. Those are high no-goes, particularly if it's not self-defense for murder. But I don't play with it's not that you really don't come back with me from something like that. So if those accusations later on are found out to be true, he should be held to the highest degree of the law whatsoever, period. If that's true. But again, like we don't know. You know what I'm saying? And again, we're Bears guys. We sit here, we talk about it, but we don't know. And that again, that's just one of the worst things. When I first saw it, I didn't even know until I read the post of somebody that it was alleging him, because I didn't really think about when I see a Georgia player, and I should have known by the number, but a defensive player holding the football, I don't go to it. Didn't click in right away until I read the post or whatever. But again, allegedly, because even if he didn't do it, you hate that we're sitting here talking about something that has been lied upon. But if he did do it, man, he needs to pay. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
100%.
That's just facts. That's just, I don't know, man. It's wild.
It goes back to how you started. This world is a very difficult place. I mean, it's a whole different...
Sheree and I were talking pre-show, and I'm not trying to bring up the usernames, but if you're in a position where you're, hiring somebody for a new job, it is. And I've been involved in situations like this, simply just getting somebody's email address. And I'm like, really? Right. Is this really your email address? You're applying for a professional job. You're applying for a job with the government, and this is the email address that you're giving me. Do you think, maybe you want to just step back and maybe just
delete that?
Maybe, just let's go with something just a little bit more professional. And that's like I'm saying, I'm not trying to dismiss. You have to take these allegations, even if there's, if you initially look at it and say, I'm very skeptical, that doesn't mean that you brush it under the rug. You have to put all your resources into finding out what the truth is, when this took place, because right now it's all over the place. The stories that she's put out there are been 2 or 3 different time frames.
But the fact that he deleted his Twitter,
he didn't delete his Instagram. He was never a big Twitter guy. His Instagram is still active. It was as of yesterday. Roquan was more of an Instagram guy, but even which, it's going to come out. I mean, when you're talking about potentially giving a guy $100 million contract,
that's what I was just about to say. You're going to investigate this to the nth degree, because
ain't nothing happening on that contract till you find out what's going on. That's for damn sure.
The polls show is going to be an investigation. I mean, you have to do it. And I see some negative comments in the chat. This has nothing to do with Deshaun Watson. I don't know what that is even about. We're talking about something that's the elephant in the room. And it's a player that's about to be a focused player in the Chicago Bears' new era. Is he a part of that? This whole, call it what it is you will, to Kenneth's point, we hate that it's speculative. We hate that it is, because we've seen both ends of this.
Well,
we saw it with
real
Big
quick,
Ben.
Phil. You brought up Spirit. In case you're new here, I'm not sure if you are, but we're based about the Chicago Bears. Just so you know, Deshaun Watson played for the Houston Texans and now plays for the Cleveland Browns. So maybe if you want to hit up one of their shows and get an update there, that's why we didn't talk about Deshaun Watson and put our energy in there.
Anyway, I put a lot of energy in hoping that the Bears would have taken Deshaun Watson instead of one Mitch Trubisky. I'll just
but we won that one. We won that one. I don't want anything to do with Deshaun Watson. Like, boy, listen, do you know how crazy it would be if he was our quarterback? People would be caping for him. People would be denying it.
This would be a whole separatist party.
Listen, I don't. Yeah, you damn right. You hit that on the head right there, Phil. There would be a civil war going on.
Ryan Pace would be sitting with his feet up in Atlanta saying, "I love you, Marcus Mariota." That's what he'd be doing right now.
Like, man, I mean, unfortunately, fortunately, you dodged a bullet with that one because I don't care what the court didn't do. That's too much of a coinky dink for me to believe nothing was taking place, let alone stuff you read about the young lady. Like, just to me, again, I'll be wrong on that one as far as if he's innocent. I can't. The same with Ben Roethlisberger. I don't like my friends are the Steelers fans, and we're commenting on it like, yeah, but I'm happy. And not to say that all Bears players. This doesn't say that our team of Bears are like a team of saying good guys or whatever. And that goes all the way back to some of the stuff you hear about the '80s teams, right? Where it's like, oh, it's a lot of stuff from back in those days, but still that focal point of quarterback. It would be hard for me to root on a Sunday if to
finally get a quarterback and have
and then that happens.
It would be. Holy cow, it'd be a whole nother level, a next level.
Man, I think that type of kink, which is wrong when I'm not dissing anyone's kink, but when you're putting someone in their position and it's not consensual, I think that's with you. I don't think the location necessarily changes it as much as that's his thing. Like, there are sex workers out there where you two could consensually do something. But for that, probably to me, and again, I don't know, and I'm not a therapist, but it seems like part of his kink was to get people that didn't know it was going to happen to do something they didn't want to. Like, that was part of his turn on. And again, this is all speculative. I'm just giving you my opinion. Like I say, stuff like that, I don't play with. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope nothing happens to any of our families like that. But man, that's jail time for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like, yo, somebody got to go. You know what I'm saying? Like that. And that's irrational, but that's where I would get. And I don't want to be in that position. I would hope somebody wouldn't put other people's sisters, mothers, female relatives in that position. But it's just, it's very sensitive topic. Getting back to the Roquan thing, it's a very sensitive topic. It should always be taken serious. And I guess at some point we'll find out if authorities get involved. And I don't want to say if authorities get involved, that always means it's a go or it's not a go. Because, sometimes women are afraid to come forward. So authorities aren't going to get involved. Sometimes it's not enough proof. So authorities aren't going to put their neck out there if they don't think they can necessarily get a conviction, let alone a conviction on a big name person. But it'll all come to light if there's truth to this. Sooner or later, you would think the authorities will be involved, and then we have to even look at this in a much more, and I hate to say serious light, like we're not looking at it in a serious light, but this is for real. This isn't just for him, somebody just made something up, regardless of their handle or whatever, But this is the type of stuff you don't play with.
No. And with Roquan, his allegations were in South Africa, so that's a whole different.
What? I don't even know. This is one of those send me in the chat ones.
Yeah, no, she's from South Africa.
Okay,
this all happened when he was on vacation, allegedly.
I didn't know that.
That's not a thing here.
Oh, so how? Yeah, so how would it even get resolved? So never.
Well, I believe legally he would have to be extradited in that whole thing. But then I said,
stay out of South Africa, stay out of Africa, and he's basically straight.
And I don't think in
Cape Town.
So probably
it is something. This show is about truth, so it's clearly out there. So us as analysts have to talk about the hypothesis of this possibly affecting your Chicago Bears.
It's a big. I mean, Ryan Poles sees these accusations. He's got to be like, well, can't we talk about Larry Ogunjobi's physical again? You can't make
Byron Pringle's spin outs with the kid in the car. Listen, it all goes back to where Kenneth started this show, and I know fans want to focus. Let's talk. We are talking football, and football is a game where, kid from New England, from Connecticut, this kid, murdered people. There's so many stories in regards to football and life that look what happened with Tariq Cohen. Think about that. Right. And his brothers, and how he opened himself up and was vulnerable about that. And then a week later, he tears his Achilles.
I couldn't even make it through that.
It's just
video.
That one was so hard. And we all knew what it was from playing sports.
Oh, yeah.
And
absolutely.
I mean, you heard it, and it was like, oh man, your first thought was he tore his Achilles, right? Your first thought. Yeah. And then to see his dog, you want to reach through the screen and grab his hand and pick his ass up.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like you went through all that with your brothers, trying to take care of your mother. Now you got to take care of your brother's daughters. And now you finally starting to get some of yourself back as a professional football player, and to give yourself another chance to go out there and make a living, to further take care of your family. And then just think about the darkness that I don't know if it's over his head and he may be strong enough where he can keep it at bay, but it's easy to think about the darkness that's covering him, because life hasn't been fair. Life isn't fair in general, but he has a real reason to believe, man, this is wrong. This is not fair like that. Dude, we're living in a time where we're divided for no reason. We're letting, I usually don't go on the type of rants. We're letting people that have no interest in any of us divide us, and we're playing this foolish game, and we continue to do it. We continue to let these people play us like puppets, right? Like we continue to do it instead of taking the blinders away from our eyes and realize, man, these MFers got me messed up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like we continue to let, you don't look like me. You have sex with someone, I wouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? Your religion is different from mine. You know what I'm saying? We continue to let all these things keep us away when we all basically the same person. I mean, when you really look, if you're really being honest, we all come from the same spot at one point in your life, basically, where your ancestors really come from. But we're going to continue to let them. I mean, dog, you think about what happened in Texas. I'm not saying take guns away, but I know we don't need assault rifles out there like this, let alone kids. I consider 18-year-old person being a grown-ass man a kid, right? Like at some point, we got to have real conversations. Or with my daughter, I picked my kids up today. Imagine me getting there and the building is surrounded by the police.
Yeah,
right? I don't care who you are. As a human, your first thought was like, yo, you guys, this is, I posted this. Why are the politicians, and I mean it's elephant and donkey, y'all like to wait around till this happens to somebody on your set, right? I don't like to wait till something happens to people around me before I necessarily care about it, because if you take care of it earlier, hopefully it won't get to you in the first place. That's why we keep playing this cyclical game, and it's tiring. It's just tiring, to say the least. Now I'll step off the soapbox because
I think you needed to say I wanted to say that too. My wife teaches. And my sons go to the school that she teaches in. Now, just to your perspective imagine. And it's a real truth. And I think
there's not a parent around this morning. Like I drove my son to school and this morning, and in the back of my head, I'm like, maybe today's a good day just to let him skip and take him home with me, and then I sat there for a couple of seconds and I said, am I going to do this tomorrow? Am I going to do this? Am I going to do this on Friday? But you can bet your ass we had that family talk last night. Hila got home from work and we started talking about it. And she's like, we gotta sit him down and talk to him about, if this happens, what would you do? What is your approach? And much like Phil, my sister is the special education teacher in the same school that my son attends, and my office is literally right across the street. And unfortunately, I'm not always right there, but you just, you never know. And when you go to pick them up at the end of the day, you get that little, it's not just about, oh man, you know, how is your day? He's okay.
There shouldn't have to be any
Yeah.
time in your life that
I
you're
know.
worrying about a child going to elementary school, having to worry about a gunman who's 18 years old and shouldn't. To Kenneth's point, we don't serve alcohol. We don't allow minors to drink. We don't allow minors to smoke marijuana until they're a certain age, but we allow them to have a assault rifle. Right. I don't give a fuck what politician or politic side you are on. At some point, a brain cell of integrity have to understand a level of someone's brain anatomy isn't mature. So if that person's also struggling in mental health or whatever they're dealing with, to allow a certain age to have an assault rifle, to me, is the definition of insanity. And it's just what it is. And if you have a problem with that, as a father, I am seriously against it. And it's about, I work in the government, so I'll say this. I've always seen reactive, reactive rules. You know, so-and-so was doing this. Let's punish everybody. Let's not just punish so-and-so. We're going to punish everybody after they've done it. Let's look at things for what they are and go there. And that'll be my soapbox.
You said one word that's really what it's all about. And the word you used was integrity. And a lot of these people lack it. And that's what makes it so funny that we argue about them. A lot of these people, when I was a kid, I used to think it was funny when people made fun of politicians because I didn't understand why they made fun of politicians like that. You know, lawyers, and I'm not trying to diss any lawyer out there. I hold a lawyer to a higher degree than I hold a politician. But it's a lack of integrity. And that's the thing. Like, and that's in life. A lot of people nowadays, especially with clout chasing, I mean, to a certain degree, what happened in Buffalo, what happened in Uvalde, a part of that is clout chasing. For real. A part of that is, this is for everybody can know me. Like it's a look, because how could you go from shooting Grammy, right, and your next move is I'm going to the grade school? Like how does that work? And forget that crazy kid right there. But when it comes to the people that we pay, the crazy thing is we pay these people. That makes it, see, that really kind of agitates me. It'd be different if I didn't pay you. But when I pay you and you don't do your job, now that burns my side. But you said it, Phil, integrity. And we see it all the time on both sides of the aisle. There's a lack of effing integrity, man. That's just because the simple stuff, dog, infrastructure, simple stuff should be taken care of regardless of who you're going up against, period. And we're the people that are left holding the bag because we keep sending these fools to Washington or to wherever the hell we're sending them, and they're not doing nothing for us. And that's my last point. Just in general, I'm just tired. It makes no sense. I had to come home yesterday, and I had to just watch. I just watched it for hours, right? And my son, like you said, Shane, we talk. I don't know which. This is crazy. I don't know which mass shooting it was a couple years ago when I had a discussion with my son on what to do. It's how often they happen. I can't even remember the shooting, but we talked, and I gave him a process of thinking when things like that are happening, how to look and how to think about how to protect himself and escape and get out. I still haven't had it with my girl because I don't think she can absorb it. And I'm more worried about her because she's younger. She's really not going to know what to do. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, dog, my baby 5, yo.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. 5 years. Dude, I'm gonna stop because I'm starting to get emotional, and I'm not trying to be emotional. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, this is stupid. This is stupid. And I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired.
I'm with you. And listen, there's no script on this show, guys. And it'll always be that way. And if you have a differing opinion, this isn't a shot at you. It's just a conversation that needs to be had, as all three of us here are fathers, and damn good ones at that. And I know I try to be the best father I could be, and having that conversation and listening actually to my wife speak to my 2 8-year-old boys about it was a very tough listen because I'm a talker. So to listen to her, who's the teacher, explain it to them was very, very emotional for me because I don't ever think I was worried about the Russians invading like Red Dawn when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying?
That was the
that
thing.
real? These kids have to literally worry about their own backyard. It's like a moral integrity that I think we lose track of as fathers, as wives, as mothers, as grandparents. It's like everybody's so wanting to be right on a Facebook debate instead of recognizing it's not solving shit, but separating shit. Right. So I stand in front of a mic to talk about the Bears and life and great shows and moments and emotion. And I'll never, the first politician that steps to me with an honest integrity and doing the right thing will be the first one. So let that sink in. And that's the reality that all of us people stop picking sides, start asking for truths. And when you get that, please let me know because that'll be a first. And I fought this with George and fucking Ted. With George and fucking Ted and the collaboration crew and watching the zoo animals pass the circus of the Chicago Bears. And finally, Kenneth, I know you heard a little bit of my rant that I feel like this coach is saying the right things. I'm transitioning back to the Bears now. And I don't feel like there's a political thing because I made a t-shirt on this network. Performance over politics. Performance over politics. Stop playing guys where you've selected them and start playing guys that are selecting to be great. And that's where I think Eberflus, whether he understands it or not, he has the reset button to be able to do this with Ryan Poles, that support system. And I really love what I'm hearing. I'm hearing, again, to Shane's point, right now the actions are just in the verbiage. But there is one action that he brought up, and that's the subtlety, not the embarrassing, of Jalen Johnson. It's a message that is being sent, and that's practicing what he's been preaching. Talk about that.
The only thing I don't like about this Jalen Johnson situation is that Kendall Vildor is getting first team reps. That's the only thing I don't. Because I feel like we're wasting reps. Like for instance, get someone else who's going to be playing a lot of reps. You know, whoever's going to be the third outside guy. You know
Corey
what I'm saying? Like
Graham
Jr. I'm being a jerk and I'm playing with that. I'm a Matt Eberflus guy right now, but I'm a wait and see. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, you have to.
At heart,
we're Bears
I'm a
fans.
Bears fan. I'm a Bears fan.
Hope
springs eternal. Hope springs eternal. I'll tell you what, and I forgot what Shane brought up a really good point while I was in the waiting room, right? I forgot about him missing practice, being late a lot last year. I totally forgot about that, right? So a message needs to be sent. I like even not knowing that, I like sending the message to someone that you're looking like as a building block for your new team. Because, for instance, like if Robert Quinn shows up, Robert Quinn is who Robert Quinn is. He's an old vet. like doing that really isn't going to really change anything when it comes to Robert Quinn. Robert Quinn, but this is a third year. This would be a third year starter in a new regime with a new head coach, and you're letting them know the stuff that you was pulling necessarily isn't going to work, and you need to be on your tippy toes. And you're telling them this too, compared to like a Robert Quinn, you haven't earned it. You know what I'm saying? You haven't necessarily earned not showing up just yet. How many Pro Bowls have you made necessarily before you can be like, yeah, you know, I work out well on my own. I'll get there when I get there. Like, no, you and on top of that, this is his new bosses. Like when your company gets bought or something happens, you don't just keep showing up to work the same way you used to show up to work. You show up to work ready to go and letting them know that you're an asset. So I think, and the thing that I liked first, and Alex Shapiro from Under Center, and of course one of our reporters at NBC Sports, was the first person to mention that Matt Eberflus in my circle as perhaps the guy that was going to get the job. So I started going into Flusy type stuff and checking them out. And we all know JJ Stankovic, you know what I'm saying, who now works for the Colts. So, you know, just I liked what I heard because I thought, one, kind of what you were saying, Phil, they were going to be held to a standard. But also, it seemed like the coach had attention to detail, and he was going to pass it along to his players, because that lack of focus. Like, I'm tired of seeing 3 DBs looking like that Spider-Man thing, where it's like, hey, what? Like, I'm tired. Yeah. Like, I'm tired of seeing, because it happens. People get burnt and coverages break, but not regularly. You know what I'm saying?
Not in the biggest of moments either.
Right. So like that's where it was like, yo, so he's supposed to be, as far as just attention, he's supposed to be more like Lovey on defense. All right, bring that over here. Right. That was like just from one thing you could say about that team, and you were right, Phil, the offense never got right. But they never were lacking as far as effort. You know what I'm saying? You never questioned the effort on that team, and everybody balled out and played to the echo of the whistle. And like some things on defense are about not definitely staying in the moment, knowledge, but it's effort based. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to sell your body out, because sometimes your body gonna be like, yo, I kind of don't feel like it, and then it's probably not gonna come this side, and you're loafing. And you got to sell out. So I'm with it. I'm happy that Eberflus let him know. I think because and I believe Chamber said that's your cornerback one on the rush today. Somebody was on there talking about Gordon is better than JJ. And I was like, listen, if Kyler Gordon ends up better than, and I'm with you, Shay, not right now, you're crazy. No. But if he ends up better than Jalen Johnson, what Jalen Johnson is, that'd be sweet, all right? Because that means you have a tandem out there. Yeah. And if you get two cornerbacks, it's a lot of stuff you can do defensively, man. Yeah. When you got two guys that you don't have to worry about. We would always say,
you got two, there's so much you could do. That's what I would always say, because defensively, if you're able to play zone and you have good zone concept, but you can double up and then switch it up to man concepts in a pinch. And listen, I'll say this, back to Kyler Gordon. Kyler Gordon on tape versus Jalen on tape in college, Kyler is much better than me.
Way more athletic.
Way more athletic, way more instinctive, way more intuitive, and way more messy for me. Messy meaning he's not afraid to mix it up in there. So those things are great things. Then you add the fact that this kid does some flexible things that you can't comprehend. Like, I don't know. It's like going to, a Chicago style pizza deep dish and getting a tavern style, I guess. It's like, now there's extra layer of greatness here. So listen, Kyler Gordon, he could be something really, really special. And when we broke down that tape of him, my father's eyes lit up, because that was his guy. My dad said, "This guy's the." Huh?
How is your dad?
He's doing great.
All right, my bad for interrupting. Please continue. I just want to check.
His eyes lit up because he said, "The kid from Washington's the best corner in this draft." That's my best impression of him. And okay, and then we got him. So he was all excited. Then we broke him down on his tape, and he was even more excited because on the tape, there's not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, not seven. There's like 7 or 8, like, whoa, like you can't believe plays with Kyler Gordon. And that's when you just look at the tape. One specific play was just amazing, but
the flexibility one. I mean, you can't undersell his. If anybody wants to laugh at his ballet background and all that, you're crazy.
That's a plus.
On our patron side, we broke down a play where it looks like he just got his knee exploded. It was terrible.
He looked like he got destroyed against Michigan. That he's out of the play, hurt.
If I paused it and showed you how his leg contorted. But this dude, in a split second, stood right back up and made the play from that.
Remember, it was Ripley's "Believe It or Not."
What is
paused it there? Everyone's like, "There's no way he could make this play." Exactly, Ian Cunningham when Kyler fell.
Well,
Are you
that's what I was going to
me?
say. That 1920 Football Drive episode that they released today, it's about 25 minutes long, and I would encourage everybody to watch it.
Oh, I missed it.
If you want to question Ryan Poles and Ian Cunningham, where they had these two, when 39 came up, they literally say, all right, it's going to be Gordon or Brisker here. We're going to take one of them here at 39.
Brisker is like my favorite.
They took Gordon at 39, and the guy that they were going to take, the next guy in line was Brisker at 39, and they got him. They got him
both.
Yeah. So that's, that is important when you hear, it's not always bullshit when Jerry Angelo said it was bullshit, but when teams say that we got the guys that we wanted, they said it on draft night, and it's, right on the video.
Never lies, Kenneth.
Right.
At least the Bears are giving you the behind. I was hoping they would be on Hard Knocks so we could see this brotherhood, as I did have my choice. I chose him.
Right.
I want to see this relationship because we always talked about it. And this is where Ryan Pace folded and fumbled. And maybe it was Ted Phillips and company, but you got to have this belief. You got to do everything in your power to make sure that the guy that's leading your football team, and I'm talking about the head coach, is the guy that's going to lead your football team. And right now, I feel like this guy has that. Now, listening to Cole Kmet and what he had to say, where are your thoughts with Cole Kmet, Kenneth? Is it more same thing, folded arms? I'm going to believe it when I see it. Yes,
you just made me think about draft night, and like we were all here trying to talk people off the ledge. Like, yo, even though this is what we wanted, these guys, the value on these guys is crazy. Where the Bears picked them, you know what I'm saying? So look, getting
Brisker and Gordon.
Yeah, we were saying. Okay. I mean, that we were sitting there like we get it, but just the value was so high. Now to Cole Kmet. Shuddy better prove it. I mean, so I asked the question on the Under Center podcast that comes out tomorrow. What does a productive season from Cole Kmet look like to you? I think we were all on the same. I knew Bears Insider Josh Rock. I think he said 50, maybe said 50 catches. I said 40 catches and 5 TDs. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I said. Just not knowing if they're going to lean on him. You know what I'm saying? I said about 40 catches. I prefer 50, but 5 TDs and I'm off his back. You know what I'm saying? But the concentration drops. That stuff has to end.
He had 60 catches last year.
I'm totally wrong. Thank you for correcting me on that one. So 50, I'm still going to go lower so I won't be a total idiot. But if you can sit there now, keep the same production that you said, Shane, because I definitely didn't look at his numbers before I said it. You can keep the same production, but you can get in the end zone. You get 5 TDs, I'm with you, especially like sometimes today you have tight ends that are, the quarterback's best friend. But when we grew up, that was like the real big thing. Look, you guys had you had Colts out there for forever in New England. You know what I'm saying? Like you got
Ben
you a good
Coates.
tight end.
That's a name.
Yeah.
Ben Winter.
I remember Ben Coates.
I loved Ben Coates.
I did too, and I was a Bears fan. But Ben
Coates
was
you didn't like Alonzo Mays didn't do it for you, Kenneth, here in Chicago?
I had hope for Alonzo.
You know, one of my favorite Bears tight ends that they used to always try to get rid of, and it was like, dude, y'all don't even use a tight end, and he keeps playing. I loved when I was younger Keith Jennings.
Yes.
And it was they always used to try to kick him out. And they'd be like, dude, you don't have anybody. Like, they went all those years until Desmond Clark really kind of – Desmond Clark, of course, Greg Olsen. But remember when Greg Olsen was a Bear, though, he was a receiver. He wasn't a tight end. Because if you breathed on him, if you went – he would have felt like that yak. He would just go down. Like, dude, you're supposed to drag him.
He went down
that's what Cole has to get.
But they put him in a bad offense.
Right.
But yes,
definitely.
Cole.
Well, just imagine hitting him down, sending him down the seam, or imagine not throwing jump balls to Taylor Gabriel. Use Cole Kmet. Imagine, what a novel concept. But I see our guy here, Phil, is in the green room, and I do want to bring him out because he's been talking a lot about Cole Kmet, and there's our guy. Alert. But Cars, you've been comping Cole Kmet kind of his career, what you want to see from him, and you have a name that you can put out there.
What's up, Cars? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
It's Mark Andrews at Baltimore. Like, not this past year, but if you look at the past 2 years, you're talking like 50 to 60 catches, 700, 800 yards, right? Like those kind of numbers. That's the trajectory that I see for him. And the reason I love the Andrews comp is Andrews isn't like a gazelle out there running. He kind of looks a little awkward, but he can get open. That's very similar to Cole, right? Like why is the guy in San Francisco escaping me right now? But the way Kittle, the way Kittle moves is not natural for a tight end, right? Like look at Gronk.
Great comp.
Gronk is like, if you told me that he was a Pro Bowl tight end and I watched him run, I would not believe you the way that he moves. But you could be so kind of awkward, but you're coordinated. Like Shaheen was awkward and uncoordinated, whereas there is some coordination here. And I kind of feel like if that's the way that this goes, that's an A+ thing outside of this.
This guy, let me just say this. We had, and we are having former Bears quarterback Eric Kramer joining the Tape Never Lies network. And his first appearance on X's with the O's, we were breaking down a Cole Kmet play. And Eric was showing fans, listen, if Cole Kmet was taught to bend his route and then come inside, and he was talking about Keith Jennings. Keith wasn't nearly the athlete Cole is, then it's all on coaching here. Like there's talent there to what Cars is saying. This isn't like some rumbling, bumbling, tight end. This kid has some really athletic traits. He hasn't put it together. And the thing he said in his presser that stood out to me, like, what are you going to improve? What did you need to improve on most? He wasn't talking blocking or anything. He was talking about hands catching. And that is exactly what my notes say about this guy. If you start focus on those hands, eyes through hands, this kid is going to make more plays. So there's a check mark in his box that he actually is recognizing and being transparent on what he needs to do. And I just think in this offense, you've seen it in Green Bay and San Francisco, and even in Minnesota, the tight end position and how it's going to be used, those intricacies of being too far out. Nagy never preached fundamentals. He just ran plays, and big plays are nice, and all the fun stuff we did.
Scheme will fix everything, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Don't worry. Trust the Denny's menu, and everything's going to be fine.
So if we get 7 or 8 touchdowns out of Cole Kmet this season, will we see more of this, Kenneth?
Like, I don't. Look, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, because I said, look, just think about it. Does it really seem like he caught 60 balls last year?
No, it doesn't. I would have lost any bet.
He did improve as the season went on, though. I will give.
He started dropping his pads and being tough.
Yeah, he's a big kid.
Yeah, Greg Olsen. You're keeping it 100. Everyone romanticizes these players when they leave and they do stuff with real coaching. But when they were here, they kind of had to be who they were in chaos. So he would fall down. Cole Kmet was this. I'm like, you cannot be a wussy out there. You have
remember
to
that
show
one when Justin
then he
Fields
finally
rolled out and he wide open 35 yards downfield and the dude fell. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yes. Third down.
Yes.
And dude, and we all, none of us were together. We all screamed.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. There's nothing worse. Like that, this is all some old school football shit. All right. Your tight end is supposed to break tackles and bring havoc to tacklers. All right. Now, if you're a guy, Okay, that's cool. You just a glam. You're a receiver.
Exactly.
You're a guy that's supposed to be the both type of guy. No, you're supposed to be lowering your shoulder. You're supposed to be breaking through cats. So, like, that was the thing back in the days. Greg Olsen was a terrific catcher. He wasn't when he was here. When he got to put the, you were spot on, Phil, as far as coached up. When he got to the Panthers with Cam, he started doing that where he was bringing the ruckus. But when he was
his
here,
quarterback did. You couldn't look at his quarterback dropping shoulders or dropping people over and then be like, I'm gonna hurdle this guy. No,
exactly.
No,
and Greg's not small. He's 6'6", 230, 240 pounds. Like we did a breakdown of Velus Jones. He's 6 foot 208. Watch this fucking guy use this fucking offhand stiff arm. This guy is very aggressive. Very aggressive. And if you're not a patron, I don't know what you're doing, because we broke down about a good 22 minutes of tape. That's over like 30 plays of his, just showing you all of what Velus at 25, and as Adam Rank said, can rent a car like no other rookie on the roster. But the reality is what he's going to bring in maturity is going to be for fans an old remembrance of how old he is, because at the end of the day, we're not looking in the program, well, how old is he? We're looking, how does he play? That's all that matters. So the aggressiveness needs to be there from Cole.
Right.
That's what you got to remember. Cole Kmet is 23 years old. He is younger than most of the rookies that we drafted this year, right? So he's 2 years in.
Just about all of them. Just about all of them. Yeah.
He just turned 23. So, was I disappointed the way the season started? Yeah, I think to Shane's point, it got better as the season rolled on. But we can't write this kid off at 23 years old. That story still isn't done.
And so he Cars, did you see his interview?
It was I mean, like,
I felt like he had his personality.
He clicked. Yes, because he was comfortable in his own skin. He was controlling the conversation. Like, I think the subtle thing that we need to realize is the whole Flus and hits thing, whether people are fans of it or not, those people that adopt it and love it, their confidence is through the roof because it just reinvigorates them for try hard effort. This is why you do this. Who are you? This is what makes you so good. And that's why you see, like, all the interviews so far, Jalen's was a little weird, but everybody else was just oozing with confidence, not like overcompensation, just like, I know who I am, I know what I've got to do, and that's what I'm here to do.
Exactly. Can we play this clip of the press conferences, and then let's talk about it, guys?
Where have you seen the most growth from Fields over the past year?
Man, he's confident. He's confident coming in. So it's been fun to be out there with him and confident in the huddle, in his calls, things like that. So taking initiative with everybody, and it's been a lot of fun to be a part of.
When it comes to position labels in this defense, like a Will or a Mike, does it really matter if you're the Will or Roquan's the Mike? Does it matter in this defense?
Not really. I mean, you see that more. Like with a Seattle 3 when you got guys running with overs, or if you're in like a Tampa 2 where you got the Mike running up the middle read. But this defense is, we do some of that, but it's a lot of other stuff as well. So it's kind of interchangeable. I think some of it, maybe in third down, you'll see a little bit more specific, like position-specific things. But in the early downs, I don't think it really matters that much.
Kyler Gordon and Kendall Dildor were running with the ones today, and Jalen Johnson with the twos. Is there anything to read into with that, with Jalen Johnson running?
Yeah, I wouldn't read into that right now. He's just getting back into action right now, so we're just seeing where he is with his conditioning and those types of things. But ones and twos, we're moving all guys around. We have a bunch of guys with the ones, with the twos. We have some threes in there, but nothing to read into that at this time.
In terms of how you feel, when did you feel back to normal last year? Did you?
Back to normal 100%. I would say, when did I come back? Week 12? Say around week 13. Start feeling good. Start feeling 100%. And it's still carrying. And a lot of things that's been helping that is me doing Pilates now.
Oh, okay.
So I just want to I'm name drop my Pilates place right now. Superior Pilates. Believe in Lake Forest. If you guys want a good workout, hit up Chris. Really good.
Only imagine the smells coming out of that thing, but you know.
A new card.
That is our guy, producer Alan Bratcher. AB doing a great job.
About time
Very
you
good.
did something.
I can't wait to meet this guy. I can't wait to do a show
Nice
with Alan. It'll be
work.
interesting.
Dude, those transitions, like nice work.
I threw that together real quick too, man. That
Real
was
quick.
Yeah, real quick.
Tell us all about it, Bratcher. Anyways, back to people.
Nice work.
No, AB has been a treasure for the network. I thought of him when I was saying everyone's stepping up in this family as I have been
good shit.
dealing with the family. So, yes, very good get here.
Didn't you
AB.
love Flus talking about Jalen there? And he goes, "Yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah.
read too much into that. You know, he's just getting back here. You know, about his conditioning.
Conditioning.
Yeah, thanks for not showing up and thanks for being out of weight. That's exactly what he's saying.
He basically, his conditioning says you better
Pretty
wake
much
the fuck
everything
up.
you need to be an NFL football player. He's not doing right now.
So if you watch his face whenever they're actually talking about the other guys, he's smiling, and as soon as they say Jalen, he's like,
"Oh yeah,"
you know, just.
But that's
stagnant.
Jalen's problem. And listen,
There's something there.
You can get a lot out of some press conferences. Don't matter. Like when Matt Nagy was up there, you knew it was just a bunch of fluff and bullshit, and it didn't matter. But a guy like Jalen Johnson, you can go all the way back to draft day, and it can be good and bad. He was pissed off that he dropped to 50th with the Bears. You know, he had the talent to go top 20.
Right.
4 shoulder surgeries pushed him down. So he knew that he lost millions and he was pissed off. But at that position, especially, if you get beat, you have to turn the page and go on to the next. To me, Jalen lets things simmer up there. And I think he sees this. And listen, there's going to be guys that we love as Bears fans, guys that we believe in, that will not be part of this team just because of attitude.
Yeah.
Just because of attitude.
And I'm
they
okay
shouldn't.
with that.
And they
No,
shouldn't.
100%.
If they're not if they're not buying into the program, get them out. That's just the truth of the
Yeah,
matter.
because
If
you
they're
know
not buying
who
in.
that he will release himself with his attitude, with his play. And
But it's like
go ahead.
Kyle Fuller, right? Like Kyle Fuller was not a very good cover 2 corner, right? But when we moved to Vic's scheme and he got his head around, he played better. Well, that was the scheme that we drafted Jalen for. This is going to be his zone cover 2. You're going to see a lot of different looks. He's got to pick that up. Where he's best doesn't line up necessarily to schematically what they want to do. So that's going to be on him to fix his attitude and go. And to Shane's point, like, how many times do we see him not tackle a guy, not touch a guy when he was down, kind of quickly point at somebody
when
else?
the owner of the team brings it up and says
It's-
that was one of the reasons that I launched the entire front office and the coaching staff, that's a
true.
fucking problem. I
It
mean,
is a
big
problem.
time.
And a lot of fans.
This ain't
and
college.
This,
Gotta touch him.
I'm just being honest here in the analysis. I never have given Jalen Johnson this status as he's something, the reckoning. In fact, even though Kenneth's breaking his balls, I always thought at least Kendall Vildor plays with a reckless abandon for a little guy and is trying to get in there and mix it up.
He'll be better in this scheme.
I think he's going to be better in this scheme. I do
Could
too.
be worse. I mean, let's be real, right? Like it's not like he could
true.
be like, there's another
It is
place for
true.
him to go. But yeah,
Kendall Vildor love.
Hey,
I couldn't handle it anymore. Like I just couldn't.
I am pulling for Kendall Vildor.
I'm gonna pull for JJ.
I'm pulling for him too.
Well, that's great. We talked about Cole. He's only Jalen Johnson's only 23 years old. He was just 20 when I believe the Bears drafted him. He was very, very young. I believe had a daughter even, at that time. So
listen,
it's just you have to have a certain mindset, a certain mentality at that position. And in this scheme, Phil, you can talk about this better than anybody. This scheme is you giving up a lot of stuff underneath because they're going to say, we're going to make you put together a 17 to 20 play drive, because in those 17 to 20 plays, we feel like we can force you into making a mistake, and then we're going to capitalize on it.
And I think to that point, there has to be, and again, Kendall showed me this, a reckless abandon in tackling. And you have to rally to the football. And if you don't, and you're confused or you're pointing fingers, that's why Eddie and Jalen stand out in concerns. There's no questioning the athletic ability. There's questioning, are they going to buy in? Are they going to buy in? And that's to where, Kenneth, I agree with you 100%. When people are like, oh, no one's going to buy into that. Well, then get them the fuck out, because the culture has to change from what it's been to where it needs to be. And the Chicago Bears, exactly. I don't give a fuck how talented you are. You aren't playing to the level of what we do, then get him the fuck out, because it's never happened here. We had Mark Pussy Boy Tressman. We had all of this stuff going on.
Fox did a little bit more. John Fox did a lot to fix it. And that's because he's an old school defensive guy, right? But like even Lovey didn't do that. And Tressman was too busy trying to be like, hey, let's make the linebackers sit next to the wide receivers, and that's going to fix the locker room instead of any of that stuff.
The Bears lose games in communication, and that should never happen. And Chris Conti, Danielle Manning, you remember these plays, I hope. If I mention their names, you know what plays.
Watch the
lost
Super
you
Bowl.
the Super Bowl.
Reggie
The Super
Wayne.
Bowl, Kenneth. The Super fucking Bowl. You could win if you're in complete communication and understand. Mike Brown is playing that game. The Bears win the Super Bowl. That's not a doubt.
AB said it to me a month ago. We were talking about Mike Brown, and I saw me and Alex Brown. It was around the time when you guys were doing the draft. We were doing a draft.
I thought you meant our AB. Now I know.
No, I mean Alex Brown.
The real AB.
I'm not saying. Yeah,
sorry,
I'm sorry, Alan. So I'm talking to Alex Brown, and I make a joke, and I said we were talking about Mike Brown getting turnovers, and I said, listen, the only problem I had when Mike Brown got a turnover or a pick six was that he probably was going to end up injured after that, because that's how he used to push him. Like it happened majority of the time. I was like, that's how he pushed himself. And AB was like, you damn right. He was like, for Mike Brown to be as great as he was, he had to push himself beyond, and his body basically gave up on him. But and he said what you said. If Mike Brown is there, look, you're talking about Mike Brown. We're forgetting that Tommy was out. If Tommy was there, it's over. But he was like, Mike Brown, just what you said, Phil. If Mike Brown was there, they win the Super Bowl. You think about how depleted they were at some key positions, particularly in the cover two. I'm playing a cover two when you're talking about your three technique, your John Lynch, comparatively to the Tampa two.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like when
your leader, your defensive leader.
Yeah, dude. Like
Mike Brown.
Well,
let me just say this. I would
real
love
quick,
to have
Phil,
him on this show.
Before you go there, this is what's very important. When you're talking about this defense, there's three ultra important positions when you're building this. Right now, they don't have the difference maker three technique. Could
they
Jones
tried to
be
get
it?
him?
Maybe. Exactly. They don't have the three tech, and that is really the engine that makes all of this go.
Yep.
They got the will.
Let me say this. If they re-sign Akeem Hicks, as my father and I broke down why Akeem Hicks could play three technique on Patreon. That was the whole fucking show.
Hub said there's no way.
Hub Arkish, his two hoop earrings must have magnets in it that are confusing his brain now in the old age. I don't know. But watching Akeem Hicks.
He could just be DeForest Buckner over here.
Oh, my God. You could just line up Akeem Hicks. I think Carr said it in the highlight that I watched of your last week's show, and it's the truth. Like, you can line up Akeem Hicks at any position, and he's going to be very good. But in this scheme, if you line him up at three technique and you say, Akeem, just fucking penetrate and push you're winning. So get that contract done, because that's your ace in the hole right there. That is, go sign up, become a patron, in the DVR settings on the app, it says Akeem Hicks. And all we did was devote to show you why he could play 3 technique. And we show you that he did play 3 technique, despite what Hub Arkish or any other motherfucker that doesn't know the game of football, but studies questions and wants to make a narrative. That's where I stand on that. But Brisker,
I like Hub. I gotta say, I like Hub.
Hub's a good questioner. He's not a good. He doesn't have a very good football acumen.
You can't go out there and say that Akeem Hicks can't play.
Oh my God!
Technique.
When I have film,
I can agree with you on that part. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, especially. I think that the problem is that some people lock into the John Randall, Warren Sapp, Tommy Harris.
Oh yes,
guy having to be the
Leroy
3 technique,
Glover.
Just basically speed rather than what you can do. Like I mentioned, in as far as what DeForest Buckner has been doing for Eberflus back with the Colts or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
God, you said Leroy Glover. Man, that's
Remember?
another name that does not get enough attention for how good he was during that time.
So good. And I might be wrong on this, Shane. I thought he was on the Bears for like a second.
Cool. Leroy
We
Glover.
let Leroy go. Was that?
No,
Maybe
I
I'm
don't
wrong
remember
about it. I got to check that. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
thinking NFL Europe. He was there. He was going to get cut.
Yeah, I don't ever remember him on the Bears roster.
I could.
No, he wasn't.
Okay, I was
New
probably
Orleans, Dallas, St. Louis.
wrong. Okay, I thought maybe he had a cup of coffee here and somebody cut. But anyway, Brisker to me, I just want to mention Brisker because of Mike Brown. Now, what I was saying about Mike Brown is one of my favorite Chicago Bears because of what your AB, is saying about him. Everything in his power, he willed it to happen. He was like the psychic network when it came to understanding where the ball is going to be and putting himself and every ounce of himself on the line. That I live for guys like that. I live for Invincible, the movie with Vince Papale. I live for that because I was that, I was the underdog. So when I find those guys and they achieve that height, for me, Brisker is one of these guys. And I didn't see what Shane's talking about yet, so I'm excited to watch that probably tomorrow. But Brisker, to me, is going to be this guy that is using everything. And God gave him a hell of a lot more than Mike Brown. But when I watch him, I look at Mike Brown and Brian Urlacher having a child. And that's who Brisker is. And that's how excited I am about this. And again, I got to give my guys credit here. And that's these two guys, nerd and a mailman, the smartest man. Because they warned you, everybody, that, and me and you, Kenneth, were there. I never hide from my truth that I wanted a receiver. I wanted that big play receiver, Alec Pierce there or whatever. And defensive might be the focus here. And sure enough, it was. And when you take a step
I wanted
back,
a wide receiver too, but if you studied this draft and
the
way that it was going to fall, and your general manager came right out and said, I'm going to do this team a disservice.
Yeah.
If I reached for a wide receiver or I reached for another position, I can't. And the Bears roster isn't built that way where you can overlook that. You cannot. And not to pub the 1920 football drive again, but they told you right there. 1 and 2. Gordon and Brisker at 39. And they got both of them.
That 1920 drive
I
was
haven't seen
amazing.
it yet.
It was
so good.
I have to go. I'm spending tomorrow catching up on all that tomorrow.
Yeah,
but I got to get up out of here, guys.
Yes,
all right.
sir.
Thank you.
Phil, you're not getting me in trouble tonight. I'm going to go spend some time with my family before they go to sleep. Listen, I came in and I was like, man, I'm just going to do 30 minutes or whatever. It's been an hour and 12 minutes.
Is
already.
it? Oh,
Who's
my
this
God.
guy?
This guy. Look at him. There, he looks like a fullback.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's
All right.
you. You're keeping it
guys,
100.
I feel that. Hey.
Check him out. Kenneth
Kennedy.
Davis on the Under Center podcast. One of our artists, graphic designers
That's
there,
sweet.
Corey
Tell him, hey,
Kennedy.
that's sweet. Cool. What's up, Corey? That was sweet. You guys, listen. Stay safe. I appreciate you.
You
All
too.
right. Phil, Shane, Cars, man, nothing but love, man. Hug your families for me. Everybody out there, same goes to you. Everybody be positive. Take care of your BI, man. I'll see you guys probably like a month or so, man. But everybody stay up and I always appreciate you all.
Thanks,
Thank
Kenneth.
you, Kenneth.
Later,
Love you,
Alan.
Ken.
Love you
Love
too,
you,
man.
Ken.
Oh.
Oh, anyway, let him go. Kenneth Davis, follow him right there, the Under Center podcast, and at That's Davis Show. That's my guy right there. Just an incredible person, human being. I've had the pleasure of meeting him out in Chicago. We will be back out into Chicago. We're also going to be in New England for the Patriots.
And you can
That is a keeper.
You're on the air, baby.
Yes.
Thank
I don't want to talk about that. Let's just move on.
What's going on, Shane?
Always
Nice
look for the
great.
Adam's apple, gents. Always look for the Adam's apple. Anyway.
Oh my God.
Cars out here dropping.
He's a very nice dick that any woman would love.
There it is. That is the perfect follow-up, though. Yeah.
Great drop. Cherie. Someone hit that drop. Anyway.
But Phil,
listen,
you
ahead.
have to go watch that 1920 drive.
I'm going.
The parts of when they get to 39 and they shoot to Ian Cunningham's face and the excitement in that room over who's available, like you can tell that wasn't like, I guess this is the best player on our board kind of moment.
Well, did you hear Cunningham talking? He's like, we did it.
All
we
these
did this
mocks.
fucking mock draft, and this didn't come up.
And Poles told a story. They
See
did
your
one mock.
Spoiler alert. Jesus.
Well, Poles even said in an interview they did one mock draft where Gordon was there and they ignored him because they were like, there's absolutely no chance that he's going to be there. So but Phil, to your point, I love Brisker. He brings an attitude, he brings a swagger. He's, you remember when Mike Brown came on, the one thing that they said was like he was whiteboarding things back to Lovey in his interview within seconds of hearing it. His retention, his knowledge of the game as a kid coming out of Nebraska was already that good. And that's what you see with Brisker. And so you got really good athletes, please don't get me wrong, but the football instincts on those two guys is night and day. It is night and day better than anything we've had kind of at those positions in a while. And so I'm interested to see where it goes.
He's so to what HL's saying, and it's reading my mind. He's physical. He is a freak in the alley. Again, another guy that we broke down on our patron side. We'll continue to break down all of the draft picks and select undrafted free agents like Chase Allen, the tight end out of Iowa State.
Very interesting, man. I don't know if you've dove into that. Have you dove into?
I have. I'm cutting up tape as we speak.
I think you and I may have a conversation tomorrow because there's some things there that there's
some things.
Surprised.
Iowa State. Also the linebacker out of Wisconsin.
He's going to make the football team.
This kid is going to
make the football team.
To break down his tape with you guys on our Patreon. Become a patron, thetapeneverlies.com, as we push towards 1,000 of you TTN. And remember, patronage is like supporting the energy, effort, and the analysis that we put into this network and the analysis of the Chicago Bears free agency, the draft. We're also going to have some new shows with this guy below us. Cars Keys will start up this year on our patron side as well.
Cars and I were just riffing on Cars Keys about a couple of hours ago.
Me and Cool Kennedy were riffing about Cars Keys a couple hours ago as well for an intro song. A song intro. You're going to get your own song, Cars. Already mentioned in the open here.
I'll feel like Pinocchio, and it's like that moment I become the real boy. Like I'll become a real TTNL person with a song, and it'll be everything I've hoped and dreamed for.
You don't get a song, Bratcher. Jesus.
And that was my high school years, perfectly wrapped up.
Cherie's gonna be working her way to a song. Look at my girl, Cherie.
Cherie's got a song.
The segue. Segway's real, Cherie. It's back.
She's excited about this one. She's got a story to share, she said.
She has a story to share.
He told me about it, and I couldn't even believe it.
A blind date.
It involves a non-lawnmower 4.0. It involves a little nick where you don't want a nick, but sure, we'll get there when we get there. Sure. Give me some fucking names.
I'm sorry already, Shuri. I don't know where this is going, but I don't see
Cherie
Honestly, I have no idea either.
She's got a new look. She's coming in with an attitude adjustment like Matt.
Cherie was on the prowl last weekend, Cherie. Saw your pictures. I saw your pictures out there.
Oh, I forgot.
Shane,
with eyes
Shane,
wide open.
You got to read the room right now. You're going to die any moment. If she makes those wide eyes again, like you are going to die. Be aware of that.
Wide eye.
Unless that dragon was fucking a goat or.
One of the best unexpected drops ever.
TTNL Network. Are we doing the Manscaped read now, or is this just a teaser?
We'll do it right now. I think Cherie's excited.
Are you ready, Cherie?
I'm ready.
As the music fades out, it will come back. I promise you. Like Jackal.
Stay thirsty, my friends. But
where did
after
Claudio
the read,
go? He just left.
Who?
He had to drop off.
Oh, everything okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's handling some stuff at home.
Okay.
Him and Jack.
Sure, he could have taken those two pussies at Corny last year, beat the shit out of them.
Man, Coach Colin Jackal and Claudio.
Claudio and Jackal? That's unfair. Oh, man. Cherie, Manscaped, are you ready?
I sure am.
We are so proud that Manscaped wants to be a part of this network and this show, keeping it 100 on the Tape Never Lies network. We got our girl, our super producer, Cherie. I won't give you her government, I promise.
I was gonna say, isn't it? Oh no, I don't put it on there. Okay.
Yes. She had to check.
Because if I type in the chat, my full name is up there.
Cherie. In the chat.
Gentlemen, Father's Day is just around the corner.
Yes,
and
it is.
Finally.
We finally get a day, right?
We get a day to do work.
Yeah.
We get a day to grill.
You goddamn right you're going to mow that lawn. That's Happy Father's Day.
It's
I
Daddy's Day,
was
baby.
What was that, like 2 weekends ago?
I feel like
what?
Yours. Wasn't you grilling like 2 weekends ago or something like that?
Oh yeah, yeah, we did.
Yes,
I did a
I
10-pound brisket. It was delicious. It was perfect.
Oh, look at
Grill
you.
that shit.
So we need cars to barbecue at the next tailgate.
Yeah.
Cars.
Only if certain people aren't there.
Only if certain people aren't there.
I agree with you.
Cars went to Taco Bell the other night and they were fucking sold out. I said, "Oh,
They were out of tacos."
Bragg's moved to Naperville.
It's like, and then I'm out. I'm
Nobody
out.
likes Brags.
Exactly.
That's
No
the best.
fucking brags,
That's the
baby.
best shot we have.
You must have been at the top of your fucking class.
We're bringing all the drops tonight.
Anyway,
Let's
our
get
friends
it.
at Manscaped are here to ensure the dad in your life is looking like daddy material this June.
Oh, daddy.
That is daddy, is how you really say it.
Yeah, daddy.
Yes.
Zaddy. You can find their signature Lawnmower 4.0 in the Manscaped Performance Package 4.0 for the perfect bundle to tackle any and all old man hair from head to toe.
Tackle
this is no
that
dad
hair.
joke. Treat him and yourself to join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code YOKO at manscaped.com.
Yoko, baby.
Trust me, his dad bod will thank you. Yes, dad bods are a thing.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I'm pro dad bod.
Pro dad.
So I don't have any personal shaving stories, as Shane tried to share with you all. I've never been nicked because I go to a professional. Sorry.
Never been.
Oh.
I thought someone maybe had a blind date.
You would try the Lawnmower 4.0 though, just because Phil and I have told you how good it works.
You gotta butter that bread.
Although she would kill me, but I'm still willing to try it. I don't know.
Is I have this feeling Bratcher's in the background laughing at his own jokes, right? Like Bratcher's like, I'm fucking killing it tonight.
I'm funny.
That's the ultimate of dadisms, though. To be a dad literally means you have to laugh at your own jokes, even when they're terrible. This what we do, right? Like, yeah. Thank you, Cherie. I appreciate your support.
I'm just saying.
Father's Day.
I have a corny father too. It's okay. I'm used to it.
You'll have to share your best dad joke in the chat if you got one, or in the comments on YouTube. Share your best dad joke. But go ahead, Cherie. Father's Day.
Yes. Next month after my birthday.
When's your birthday, Cherie?
June 13th.
June 13th.
10 days after my daughter's.
Yep.
Good too.
I was hoping Eva could hold on.
Yeah. Nope. Not 10 days. We tried. Like, no.
So Manscaped is designed with fathers in mind, and the Performance Package 4.0 is here just in time for the dad in your life special day. Inside this package, you'll find your Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, the Crop Preserver ball deodorant, which I keep hearing good things about that one. So I'm a fan of it, even though I don't know anybody that I don't know anyone personally that uses it, but I keep hearing.
Cherie brings up ball deodorant and Bratcher fucking just bounce. He's like, yeah, say my area.
Steph is dying. Steph is dying because she was going to make a comment about the ball sack deodorant. So she's like, oh my God, I was just about to make a comment. And now Cherie's talking about ball sack deodorant.
They sent Phil and I a little care package.
We have a care package. And I can attest, on those hot days where you're mowing the lawn, a little ball deodorant. There's nothing more.
What?
You do not apply it like
This
that.
dimension here is called the cop.
You got to go a little bit lower, cup it. Yeah, you
I kind of do the LeBron, and I'm like the opposite of LeBron.
Oh yeah.
Downward dog.
Yeah, let everybody.
These are pieces of information I could have done without right now. Yeah, absolutely.
It's like a magic trick.
Pow!
Abracadabra.
Emerald Lagasse right now. Bam! And then you just walk away.
Some people use the old and crude salt technique.
Salt it up, baby.
Depends on who you are. But anyway,
this is going to be the first 45-minute read Cherie's ever had to do.
Yeah. Manscaped's going to owe us $800 after this read.
In addition to the trimmer, Weed Whacker, and Crop Preserver, they also have the Crop Reviver toner, the Performance Boxer Briefs, and a travel bag to hold his goodies. Oh, will be the gift every dad wants on Father's Day. Their 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 is waterproof and also has a 400K LED spotlight he needs for a more precise shave. What is
Shit.
What is the? What are you laughing at? You're distracting her.
Nobody saw him, a Bratcher.
I have no idea what
Oh my
Bratcher's
God.
laughing at. For.
So Shane's up to something, we know.
He's up to something.
Oh my God.
Somehow Bratcher knows.
Oh man.
But yes,
Jesus Christ.
use the code YOKO for
Yoko.
20% off of your
Yes.
order.
Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code YOKO at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use code YOKO, YOKO.
Oh,
There he
Yoko.
is.
He'll
Our
be
guy.
shaking his gifts his mama gave him. Shake what your mama gave you.
Shake it.
Do you think Jim uses it on his head?
Oh, fuck yourself.
No, I guess not. No,
Nope.
probably doesn't. But it would be safe to use it on your head, I can tell you. It's not that ceramic, those ceramic blades.
So do any of y'all plan on going bald seriously? Like, do y'all foresee in your future?
I
that
don't
you
think it's
going
in my
bald?
future. I got.
I've
Nope!
shaved-
Nope! Nope! This is football, baby.
You're talking about up here, Sheree? You talking
Yes.
about bald up here? Okay.
Yes.
In the middle of man.
I
didn't know
thought
where
she was talking
going
about.
with that, man.
I thought she was talking.
Because I guess isn't your hair based on your mother's father? I think I don't know.
I have no
That's
idea
an
how
old
that
wives' tale.
I don't know.
I have no idea how that works.
Yeah,
Sex
so my-
positions, they
my-
get
my-
boys, bald heads.
My grandfather,
Oh my God.
my mom's father had a ton of hair. I have a ton of hair. My son does, but probably not too good for his future if it's based off of Hila's dad's hair for Riley. He might not be loving it in a few more years, but
Yes.
I don't know about that guy. He might be bald. But yeah, I was bald. I used to shave my head, but Steph
I did too.
convinced
Hila
me.
hates it.
Yeah, Steph's like, can you grow your hair out? I think that was the best thing she had me do. I don't know why I didn't. But anyway.
I think the
That
best
it?
thing she had you do is ask her to marry you and put up with you. I think that's
No,
probably first.
She
and
didn't
foremost.
ask. I had to ask her, Cars.
Yeah.
What the?
The fucking Catalina wine mixer, bro.
Unless that dragon was fucking a goat or.
Oh my God.
I was going to say something, and I'm just going to mute myself on that one, and we'll just move right on along.
Bear down with your balls. Manscaped. 20% off manscaped.com for TTNL Keep It 100 fans. I'm telling you, as someone who uses this product, I stand by it 100%. You could stand by it for 20% off and free shipping. How about that? Use that code YOKO. Our guy Jim Larison, YOKO. We'll tell you why on next week's show, why we call him Yoko. We'll tell you the behind the scenes story of that on next week's show. I want to go back to transition back. Tevin Jenkins.
Yeah,
I just look at him.
Can we turn
and
the
I'm like,
music off? It's distracting.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Just looking at Tevin Jenkins, though, in all honesty, you could see this guy is ready. And I like the fact that he's doing the Pilates and he was honest about that and felt compelled to shout them out. But on top of that, just looking at him, and I thought I was talking to AB, our AB before earlier today, and I was like, every interview, there was this reckoning of confidence and honesty in these players that felt so different. It's just
genuine.
like Yeah, Jenny, exactly. That's it. You are the best nerd ever. It was so genuine. It was so genuine, and I specifically appreciated Tevin because much like I think a lot of people forget the kind of odds that were against him because of the injury and the pressure, so here's a guy coming in and he's right tackle and they're asking him all those questions about right tackle, left tackle, and I thought his answer for now is genuine as well, and he's ready, and that to me is very, very important. Shane, did you watch Tevin?
Yeah, I did, and he looks. I don't want to say healthier, but he looks more ready to go. I mean,
Yes, he does.
The weight that he lost, seemingly Mustafa picked up and put it all over his own body.
Oh my God.
He's trying to.
Yeah, when you talk about health and being fast, and you hear Tevin talk about, and then you see this picture. That's
not Tevin. That's Mustafa. Yeah,
that is Sam Mustafa right there. And that
I forget exactly what I was doing, but that popped up onto my phone. I had a text from
texted
Phil.
you with that.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh boy.
I literally swear to God, peeps, I'm listening to Tevin Jenkins' interview, and I'm waiting for some video to be released, and somehow the Bears website says behind the scenes or something of OTA. So I thought it was a video, and then I click, and it's all pictures of them getting ready, right? And you see Gordon, Montgomery, Fields, and Herbert, and you see all these guys, and then this pops up. I'm like, what?
To Shane's point, like every other guy that they've talked to, like Justin Jones was talking about he lost weight. Tevin talking about he lost weight. I think the biggest issue last year was Castillo wanted these guys bigger. And it's not, when you've got a bad back and you're trying to recover from that, like going through and bulking up is just not the right thing. And it doesn't take the full advantage of your athletic tendencies. And Phil, you know this better than myself and probably most everybody in chat, right? You're going to go play outside zone / wide zone.
Right.
You need your guys to be light, athletic, getting to that second level, getting to that third level. And Tevin Jenkins at 320 is going to be a scary man in space to see. He's not going to, and he would not be as effective at 335 or 345 like he was. It just, it takes a different body type.
You're 100. And I felt again, Tevin was so articulate in recognizing scheme, effort, and his weight, to your point, saying we have to be fast, but I want to make sure that at this weight, I have that same strength. And that's, across the board. And then the whole part about, I think it was our guy, what's his name with the TV in the background? I don't know why. Potsy, that asked him about the scheme versus last, and are these guys wanting your personality? They expressed that, and he threw a shade at Fetty, which I loved. It might have been someone else. Whoever that reporter was, great job there. And you could see Tevin's eyes twinkle like St. Nicholas, getting ready to put
appreciate it a little bit more here.
Yeah.
You're like, he's ready to go pancake somebody. Oh yeah.
This is my culture. Like that past pussy shit is gone. And I just thoroughly enjoyed Tevin. I believe I've never hidden from this, and I'll say it again. I believe he is your left tackle, like from my scouting eyes and coaching eyes. And I believe you do this to help players. You put them on the right, you put them on the left, you see where they are. And then when the pads come on, you find out the real truths, and we'll see. But either or, I'm okay with that guy. I believe that 100% quote that AB put in that when on week 13, we saw it. And I believe this guy is what I thought he was, that give me that tackle or give me death. This guy's going to be a monster at 320 and 24% body fat as he was sharing it. I don't think he's lying. I saw a lot of people say, oh no, he hasn't. Like, where is he throwing these numbers from? From his hip? The fucking team is going to hold him accountable to these numbers.
Watch 1920. Sorry to interrupt, but watch the 1920.
No.
They're showing like Justin Jones going through this where they're measuring body fat. Like,
oh, really?
They've all, so they've gone through that. And so, yeah, those numbers are totally, if you watched that and then that 1920, you'll see it's all legit.
I can't wait.
Absolutely.
I also want to say this, and it's a credit to my dad and the coach that he is. And he said it on our patron side. He's like, the difference with the Bears then with Nagy, they're not in fucking shape. Besides from being pussies, as he said, the corners and all that, he's like, they're not in shape. So the thing that you're going to get is a team with effort that's in shape or they're not playing. And that's when the Peter Schraegers and this other dude, Brandt, flip-flop their narratives and delete their old tweets and all that shit to say, well, wait a second, this Chicago Bear, these no-name guy, because they're in shape, they're professionals, and they have a job. That's all I've ever wanted from the Bears. It's just never
when
happened.
They're adding weight, there's two weights, right? There's muscle weight and there's cheeseburger weight. And these guys were doing cheeseburger weight and, like unhealthy shit to go at 15, 20 pounds.
I see somebody in the chat was talking about how much bigger Lucas Patrick is than Sam Mustipher, and this speaks to your point. The Bears official roster has Patrick listed at 6'3", 312 pounds. The Bears official roster has Sam Mustipher listed at 6'2", 332 right now.
Wow.
And that 330, I mean,
that's not good weight.
No, I mean,
no. And why does he do that? He's overcompensating because he doesn't have the lower body strength, right?
Yeah.
Like what we used to call the phone boost strength. So he's adding cheeseburger weight. Like and to try to give him more of an anchor, and that's just not gonna do it.
Cheeseburger weight. I love that.
So do you think that he can maybe, like, he's thinking that maybe he can get it off before the season starts and he can take that cheeseburger weight, lift it in, and have that raw core strength upgraded, or what? Like,
you imagine
what's going on in his brain? Like, is
anchor weight?
He getting bad advice by somebody?
No, I think he wants the weight. I mean, that's part of his. Yeah, he was overpowered.
He was 295 when he first came up.
That all the time.
Yeah. He was like 290, I think, when he first 295, I think is what he was, and he got pushed around a lot. And so last year he tried to add about 15 more pounds, and it feels like he decided he's going to add 15 more and see what happens. He's good, like, he doesn't really have a whole lot to lose because he's going to be out of a job and he's going to, be fighting to make a roster somewhere. And so I don't know. I just feel like he thinks that extra weight is going to make him a little harder to get bull rushed. And I think it's the wrong idea.
I think he's getting bad
based on this scheme. He would embrace being quicker, stronger.
Well, it would make sense.
Faster.
Yeah.
He's going the other way, and
he's the only one too. The only one going the opposite way.
I didn't know that whole. That's a great catch by you, Shane, about the 334.
Well, the thing about it is too is at one point they were playing him this offseason. They were playing him at guard, so that's probably playing into a lot of it. But when to Carr's point out, or what Carr's pointed out with him, he wasn't undrafted guy, but leading up to that draft when he was available, you always hear about guys, bulking up, guys going to the combine and they drink 5 gallons of water, before they weigh in. He weighed in at 306 pounds. That was him bulking up then. Mm-hmm. Carr's saying he was 295. He put on, the water weight, and that's what they do. Now you're talking about Sam Mustipher at 332.
Cheeseburger weight.
And there's I'm not saying that he's not strong. I'm sure he's, much stronger than anybody on this panel, but I mean, there's definitely no definition anywhere on in his
Listen,
arms or
I
anywhere
hope,
there.
I hope for him, as Gary would
There's
say.
hope, guys.
I hope there's hope for him, but we're gonna see. This
I
is
mean,
the
Dieter's a
big-
big fucking dude, and he's listed at 320.
Dieter is ready. That's all I could say.
He's in
I
that
just-
1920.
Is he?
Yeah, they don't talk to him, but he's taking pictures, and a couple of the Bears players are just like, "Oh man, Dieter's crazy. He's crazy." They're
He's
laughing.
ready. I'm telling you. I can't speak. I don't want to say anything, but I will say Dieter's ready. That's what you got to be. This is the great thing that the Bears have never had, and this is another thing that I'm excited about. Open competition. Not speaking about it. Not just speaking about it, but being about it. Can you imagine how many wasted years because you are so worried about the optics of your draft instead of the best? The best. And
Phil,
that's
would
Go ahead.
Nagy have done what he did, what Flus did with Jalen Johnson this
No.
offseason?
No way.
No way. I don't want to ruffle any
Exactly.
feathers.
Exactly.
I just want to get the guys out.
You want to know what
there.
Nagy's accountability was? To have your number one wideout run curl routes all year.
That's true.
It's true though, but that's what he
never
did.
bench anybody for fighting. Never
Fuck
hold
accountability.
anybody accountable.
And not saying that Allen Robinson didn't have some self-inflicted gun wounds, because of his own, decisions on the field, but
right.
It doesn't help when your head coach is essentially helping you along by sabotaging what you're doing on the field. And I mean, would you expect to see curls?
Let's throw curls
out of A-Rob this year, with
No.
Luke Getsy? Of course not.
No. And Shane, this is what I want to tell fans. Like, there isn't an arrogance. There is a anger. That's the difference. I infuriate when I see football stupidity. It infuriates me. And for so long, the team I'm rooting for, one of our guys, Mike Vaught, from down south. He's actually from New Haven, so he could speak on the pizza as well. Mike V, we see him in the chat all the time. He was talking about, and he reminded me, there was this place cars in New Haven called Sports Haven, which was a gambling spot for like horse races and other shit, right? But you on Sunday could go there and pay $40 to have your own little cubby. It was like a table, like a booth, a diner with a TV about a 13-inch or maybe 20-inch to watch the Bears. So you would be able to and order food from there, and the waitress would bring it over as it took. And I totally forgot that. But that I used to pay to go watch my boy Eric Kramer and Zorich and these guys play. Pay $40 to watch them play. And I've always seen this lack of accountability, this lack of competitive spirit. Like Corey Graham, right? He has that great game against the Vikings. Next week he's benched. In what world do you do that?
There was
in what world? Jesus Christ.
There was a lot more to that I'm definitely not getting into on these airwaves. But
oh, you know another story behind it?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That you haven't shared this with me.
Yeah, I'm definitely not keeping it 100 on that one. That's
okay.
I'm not going down that vortex, but yeah.
But you don't feel you're absolutely right. Like, it's what's encouraging about this is, again, these guys aren't robotic at the podium. Like, each one of those interviews, from even tomorrow, right? Like, I really enjoyed. He was amazing, and you listen to these guys. They are genuinely thrilled to be here, genuinely thrilled about the opportunities that they're going to have. Like, if you rewind, go watch the stuff around this time last year the interviews, trying to talk yourselves into Andy Dalton and the way we talk through everything. Like, it is night and day. And that's where you like coaching and stuff does matter, is because the players actually believe. And Phil, like when you lose a guy, it's super hard to get them back. You have to either make significant change or you've got to move on from that person. And to the guys' credits, a lot of them seem to be like, we're starting over, and these guys understand me, and they've sat down with me and understand what I do well, and understand, what I want to do and what I should be doing. And that's what they're going to focus. You heard the questions of Cole Kmet, like, you had 2 red zone targets last year. Wouldn't you like some more? And the way he kind of smiled and laughed about it and talked about the 2 misses and what they were, like, there's a confidence inside that isn't outside of the team and isn't outside of our folks. And I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving
it. I'm loving it too. I'm loving the non-belief. So the Chicago Bears are the underdogs of ultimate underdogs now, based on the national narrative. And my boy Adam Rank's boy, I guess from SI, I can't remember the dude's name. I'm sorry, Adam, but your boy ranked the Chicago Bears in the power rankings 32nd. 32nd. Yeah. That's where a coach like Nagy totally dropped the ball when Aaron Rodgers says, I owned you. That is where this coach hopefully says, this is where they see us. Either you're with us or you're out of here. I don't give a shit who you are, because we are going to prove everybody wrong. And that's where I'm excited, because there are pieces out there when you take a step back, like Darnell Mooney, isn't, they've talked about him and mentioned him, obviously, quite a few times.
Watch the 1920 drive again about that. Yeah.
You guys are killing me.
No, I mean,
you want to just download it real quick and we can sit and watch it, or what?
The Flus
group watch on Patreon, Shane.
The Flus talk about his footwork and speed. Like, you can tell that there's a sense that a lot of these guys were not utilized properly. They cannot wait to take advantage of what they do.
Number 32 alone.
Let's
in a rhythm offense.
Before you move off of Darnell Mooney, let me open this up for discussion, because I think it's interesting. With everything that's going on with Roquan and the situation, there's obviously not going to be a contract extension coming down the pipeline until the Bears know for sure, what's what. But Darnell Mooney is a guy that I'm going after right now to ink long term before he has another great year.
I agree with you 100%. And you know why? Darnell Mooney on tape tells me that. I don't need to.
You have to be a little bit proactive. And I mean, this is a guy that was drafted in the 5th round. So he does not have anything close to. I mean, he's making great money compared to, normal,
me, Cherie,
Joe Blow.
Maybe not cars. He invented the computer.
Invented the internet.
They ran out of tacos at Taco Bell, so cars just bought Taco Bell.
Cars was pissed. He invented Chipotle.
I bought
cars
6.
Like, fuck Taco Bell.
This.
I gotta upgrade this.
Good.
No, you have to be proactive. You see teams doing that, and it can pay off big for you financially, because you're saving a little bit of money down the road by giving him that long-term security, maybe a year early. And he's a guy, and I don't think that should be overlooked. You heard Ryan Poles say, I didn't know a lot about Darnell Mooney. When I got hired for the job, this dude just showed up in my office and sat down, and we talked for 45 minutes. And then that 45 minutes, it was another 2 hours, and we sat there. Now I
Shane,
found
what
out
do-
about who
what do
the
we
man
talk-
was.
What do we
Yeah.
talk about?
That's what
in
I was
our
about to
draft
bring up.
analysis.
Yeah.
We never get to sit down with the player.
Right.
That's where Ryan Pace hit it out of the park with Mooney, but dropped the ball in so many areas, because you need to surround yourself with people like Carr, like Shane, like myself, like this network, because all of us are different. So we're going to get to the root of the issue. We're going to clean out cancer. We're going to cure it. We're going to fight it. We're going to be against it, right? And we're going to find out who steps up to the plate for the family, who does. Do they really believe in themselves? Darnell Mooney, in that moment, at the end of the year, that press conference, and he says, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. And that, to me, based on the tape, he should be proud of his tape because it's so good. And he's playing with shitty quarterback play, young quarterback play, a negligent head coach who has no understanding of how to use him and how to use the play action and run game to help him. Same with Cole Kmet. So I'm with you, Shane.
Yeah,
Get him. You want to get more Moonies on your roster.
This is just what Mackenzie McNeil was saying here. Do you pay him Christian Kirk money? I think it's a bit early because Mooney has a chance to cash in if he waits. Yeah, of course he's got a chance to cash in if he waits. But what I was just saying, he's a 5th round draft pick. He doesn't have the life-altering money yet. With a contract extension comes security. It's going to be more money than he's ever seen in his life. He's still going to get paid. He's going to, that year, you're going to have everything probably drop into the 2023 where that big number is going to be consumed because the Bears.
You extend someone in a rookie deal only after
until
this
after
year?
their third. After their
Right.
Jordan is right. After their third season is when you do it.
So maybe you could offer more guaranteed money after that, and maybe he might take a little less if it's all guaranteed, since we have such a big cap number going into next year, right?
Oh, you're going to have a lot of cap space, you mean?
Yeah. So
He's
but
going to be
you
the
could
guy.
save money potentially. That's what I'm saying.
It's not necessarily save, but where the Bears are right now is
Invest in
with that
great
cap space.
players.
Well, you just make let's just say you do, I'll throw out fake numbers, 4 years, 80 million. Like, let's just say that's what he goes and signs. You make year 1, 25 million, right? And so then the other 3 years are significantly less, but but you're guaranteeing him a whole bunch of money. You're doing that. That cap position, I would look at Darnell Mooney being someone, if Cole Kmet
100%.
has the year that we think he's going to have, he's going to take a chunk of that. There might be a couple others. I think Roquan is going to be interesting depending on that. But like all of a sudden, you've got 113 million. If you go out and throw 60 million towards those 3 guys in year 1, now you've preserved your cap for the next several years, and it frees you up for adding those players. That's the best news. Taking all that cap issue down.
Every penny that you want to it's essentially consume in 2023 is with Justin Fields in mind moving forward.
Absolutely.
Because that's going to be the ultimate, it's going to be an all-timer contract in terms of the Chicago Bears. Another name that I would throw out there, and I know it sounds crazy because they just signed him this year, but if Lucas Patrick becomes the guy that they seemingly think he is,
I'm all for that.
He is a guy that you're gonna tear it up, and you're gonna be like, all right, we want you here long term. You're building a rapport with the quarterback, and that's a guy that if he plays well, is what I'm saying. I know it's very, very early, but to Carr's point, he is a guy that's on that list right now. Potentially.
Yeah, he's
his
setting
leadership
the tone with how he leads.
And Phil, what another great interview, right? Like watching him talk about Getsy and the way that interaction is. You cannot have enough of those guys in your locker room. And a guy who's been with the franchise before, that wins, that knows what it takes, that has seen the effort that's put in, Yeah, absolutely. He's a guy that you look to extend. Morrow is probably another one of those guys that
Yeah,
if he's
I'm gonna put.
healthy, he's another guy that they're going to look at doing that as well.
If you haven't seen I almost want to play the Morrow whole
It was so
interview
good.
and
I could get
talk
it for you
over
right now. I have it.
only because it is so. How do I describe it? It's like a guy that knows what he's talking about, speaking truthfully. And when you see that, when you have a friend that you could sit in silence with, you're very close to, because you don't feel like you got to occupy air to make this happen. Here's a guy that's sitting up there and he's very in clue with himself. And it's eye-popping for me to have this kind of cerebral, calm, angry, aggressive on tape football player, because this guy recognizes the opportunity he has, and it's really good. It's really, now again, his tape from the Oakland that we broke down on Patreon is exciting, that he has that twitchiness, and I think they ask him the great question because it's truthful on tape. There's a split second of impact prior to impact that Wilbur Marshall, Lawrence Taylor, Dick Butkus, trying to think of other guys I saw that
Wilbur
had
was
that.
so violent.
Ronnie Lott. They just
so violent.
They're so violent in that instant, right before contact. Watching Nick Morrow, it shows up like that. Where Roquan's fast and gets to a tackle, Nick is fast and explodes through a tackle every time. And that's probably why he's banged up and has been hurt. But
I always remember that Detroit game with Wilbur Marshall where he flat out lays out the quarterback. It's one of the most violent hits. What is his name? Eric Hipple. Eric
yeah.
Hipple.
Oh
and
my God.
He's laying there like he's
destroyed
dead.
him.
The whole
they
audience
pick up his
goes,
arm.
Oh.
Remember, they pick up his arm and he goes, the guy's arm just falls. Right? Like, that's exactly what you're talking about.
That was one of the most violent hits I've ever
Morrow
seen.
hits like that. To your point, there is that moment when he's like, I know I need to launch.
Exactly.
And he's got something that just
Mike Tyson
through a guy.
That, you know what I'm saying? Like, he got in that position, you're fucked. And here it comes, that uppercut. It's just explosive to the extent, and it's great that the Chicago Bears have this kind of presence. Now, the other thing on top of that, guys, that I wanted to say is that Nick Morrow, to your point, Cars, is feeling that presence of welcoming and belief that he's never had. Division III, had to fight his way. I loved his answer. Like, it's not bigger than me. There's Wilbur. That's after impact. Wilbur's just watching.
He's dead before he hits the ground.
He killed 6 children just through that hit. No one had any idea how that happened. It was incredible.
His sperm count went down.
Just dead.
It is. We have a little bit of this.
I have the whole thing if you want it. I mean, it's up to you.
Shane, do you want to watch a little bit of it?
Sure. Yeah, put it out there. I think he's a guy that I'm 100% in on. It's all about health.
It's fun. Everyone's been pretty welcoming. Apparently, it's a lot of new faces. So I guess we're all kind of.
I wish I had the
together.
confidence to wear skin.
Linebacker room's been good.
Skin-tight arms.
Going out together.
I wish I had that confidence.
His arm looks like a cat, a giant leg.
I mean, some of the spot drop stuff is fun, like getting to your landmark and then having eyes on the quarterback. But a lot of it, what we've done so far, I've done before. And so just it's familiarity. I think that's another thing that I kind of like. And then playing next to Rowe, he's had a really good feel of understanding, what the offense is doing. And so just feeding off him too is helpful.
What's that chemistry been like between the two of you?
It's been cool. I mean, like I said, he's fast. And then two, his pre-snap reads are really good. So being able to anticipate pre-snap is helpful, and then him being able to communicate to me to kind of get me going. So it's been helpful.
We saw you handling the defensive calls. How much do you like that responsibility?
It's cool. I mean, I think it's on everybody though. Like once the calls get in, everyone
how
kind of echo it. But
genuine
it's been
that
cool.
is?
I mean, the biggest thing is just
That's
understanding
cool.
your win. Like you got to be in shape to do it because
You
you
gotta
got to
be in
run
shape.
downfield and you got to come back and do the calls. And so it's been cool. And I don't think it's
He's
anything
just
new.
so
Like,
happy
I
to
haven't
be
done
here.
before.
Like that smile is so just like
getting the
this
calls
is
on
awesome.
everybody
I'm
and
playing
get
football and
everybody
getting
set,
paid.
and after that, it's
for
on
it.
everybody to be responsible for it.
You talked about Roquan Smith being fast, and people say that you guys are going to work well together because you're fast as well. Is he faster than you?
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. See? Now this is the great part. that
Challenge
he's-
accepted.
We talked about this
Exactly.
before, but I'm just curious. As
Hub.
you get to know Chicago,
Here comes Hub.
Is the Greenville and the small town and the Division III and stuff, is that
This
all
is
in
a
the past,
great-
or do you still every once in a while
Watch
look
this.
around and say, wow, that was then, and look where I am now?
No,
Yeah, I mean, it's 6 years removed, so I don't really think about it as much.
I've
but
been in the
I am-
NFL, asshole.
I'm aware, right? Like,
I'm over
there's,
that.
There's not a day where I'm not aware, but
Listen, I played
yeah,
for
I
the
don't think I
fucking
don't think I
Raiders
much, especially on the grass. I'm on
in
the
a
grass, it's
stadium
football.
that looks like
But I'm definitely aware.
twice
I
the
try to get back to
stadium
those
you
guys
have.
as much as I can too, as well. So
Totally different follow-up, and, we all talk to sources, scouts, whatever. The scouting report on you is a lot about your speed and athleticism, but the one thing every scout I've talked to brings up is
This is
the
it.
way you hit when you arrive.
Yes.
Is there
Oh,
something that you take
yes.
Hub.
pride in? Is there special skill
It was
or technique
Hub.
that you work on to be able to deliver that blow?
yeah, I mean, it's something you work on. I think it's also something that I've continued to work on. Meeting with the coaches and talking about different styles of tackling. Last year talked about strike zone and a profile tackle. This year talked about hamstring tackling. So it's a little bit different, a little bit lower strike zone, but I'm always welcome to everything and learning how to do it better.
Is it different the level that this team is counting on you for the defense to be successful just coming into it?
No, it's nothing different. I mean, I think you never change your approach. You know what I mean? You approach the same way. Like in 2020, I went into that year playing Sam. I finished that year playing Mike. And so you never
There you
change the
go.
approach. The approach is always the same.
Approach is always the same.
Defense for almost everybody who's in it. I know it's early, but at this stage, do you get an idea of just what the learning curve is going to be? How quickly you can get started as far as being effective as a defensive unit and that kind of thing?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think, speaking with Coach Williams when I signed with the Bears, one thing he talked about was we're going to do what everyone's good at. And I think he has a good job and a good feel of, okay, this is a good call.
What
for
a
us.
novel
This is a good
concept.
call.
Exactly.
Landmark.
Finally.
How excited we get over that basic
Over a basic
fucking
thing.
That's the
thing.
biggest thing.
The
is like
thing that should be a
understanding
layup
what the group does well
has
as a
never
whole.
been a layup.
But as we
Bratcher,
get deeper
lead
into
the
it,
show.
kinda see, like, what we do
Whoops.
well. I mean,
No,
it's-
we're not
it's
gonna do
kinda
that
early
here.
To say like we'll be this type of defense.
Eric
or-
Zoolander can't turn
It all
right.
starts
He's
with
not
effort.
an ambi turner, so let's just make him turn right all the time.
Effort. But I think Coach Williams does a good job of figuring out, like, hey, we're good at this. Let's do this more often. So.
One of the things Matt was talking about was your early schedule. You're facing some teams that run the same stuff that you.
He doesn't even look at the
noticed that when
schedule.
The schedule came out, and could that be beneficial to a defense that is kind of
Nope.
coming together?
Yeah, well, I'll be honest with you. I have not looked at the schedule. That's my wife.
Oh, you didn't realize Nicholas Moriano
tickets
gave you
and stuff
2
like
L's
that.
already?
But
Oh.
I think we got what
Nick
San Fran
Moriano
first.
gave you 2 L's against Green
No, I
Bay.
haven't looked at the schedule as much,
You
but
have
I
something
am
to say
aware
about
of like the Shanahan tree. with
This is
was
great.
it
I love
Green
this
Bay
answer.
and,
Yeah,
Minnesota
this is
and
great.
here.
Watch.
So like some of that's good, but we get to face that offense in practice, so that's good. Yeah, it'd be good to have some familiarity. Every offense has a different wrinkle. Every play caller has their their niche and what they like to call. So you'll definitely have to be on your game plan. But no, it's good to see it back and forth. But like I said, it'd be a wrinkle every now and then. So you have to be aware.
I know you guys haven't had on pads yet, but
My
what
guy,
have you seen
Herb.
from the defensive
Herb
line in terms
Howard.
of
Herb.
their ability to keep you and Roquan clean and able to use that speed we've been talking about?
I mean, Lowe's big, right? But he also runs well. He keep
He's
putting
talking
up,
about
takes
Angelo
where he's running
Blackson.
downfield, run after the ball. And some of the line movements, they do a good job of getting in those stunts. Like I said, it's hard to tell when we're not in pass because when you're not in pass, offensive line may jump up those to the second level really quickly. They don't really think about getting a double team, so it's kind of hard. But even there's some plays you'll see like they do a good job of stopping the run. Like you talk about, and I'm getting into a little bit, but whenever the nose can set the edge, I mean that's money, right? Because then now if I'm in the B gap, I can fall back really quickly. The will can just stay in the A gap. So you've seen that a couple of times with Lowe.
He's hinted that
also
he might
adjusting
be
with
the
some of
mic
power
there.
games, he's crossing the guard's face.
The
and
will
allows us to
can
fall
be-
back, so that's keeping us clean. So you can see it a little bit, but
I'll be
when
in-
you're not in pass, it's kind of hard.
Will
They
will
just
be.
jump up,
Just letting you know. These are the little things.
Like a Will or a Mike, does it really matter if you're
Nope.
the will or Roquan's the Mike? Does it matter in this defense?
Not really. I mean, you see that more, like with a Seattle 3 when you got guys running with overs, or if you're in like a Tampa 2 where you got the Mike running up the middle read. But this defense is, we do some of that, but it's a lot of other stuff as well. So it's kind of interchangeable. I think some of it, maybe in third down, you'll see a little bit more specific, like position-specific things. But in the early downs, I don't think it really matters that much. No.
There's very much truth to what everything he says.
Chicago. Do you guys look at that and think about how that
This is a
might
Robert
affect
Quinn question. We'll talk about this.
Not
real
really.
quick,
I mean,
too.
unfortunately, I haven't really met him yet. I haven't seen him, and so I can't really tell you, about him as a person. But if he's here, great. If he's not, hope the best for him and hope the best for us as well. I can't really talk about it.
What are your impressions on Jaquan Brisker and Kyler Gordon?
This is what I love.
Kyler's first day on the job, he had 2 picks, and Brisker punched the ball out as well, and he punched the ball out again yesterday.
Peanut punch?
He's doing a good job of finding the football, punching it out, getting it out. They're on the game plan, they're in the right spots, and they'll just get better. I mean, it's early, you still got to get some technique and all that stuff, and that'll come. It's just part of being a rookie and learning the system, but early on, I mean, they're getting the ball out, so that's always a plus.
Miss Bossy feeling Cherie's hair there. I'm feeling Nick Morrow. Just cerebral, honest. Again, another showcase of what it is that I feel like the coach is setting the tone, and you don't want distractions. I thought his answer about Robert Quinn was so mature, and it was so, you're a reporter, you got to ask that question, but you're looking for the bait, the juice to try to get somebody to slip up, and seeing him handle that stuff was just really.
You brought up a name, Robert Quinn. I know Kenneth spoke on it earlier. I have no problem that Robert Quinn is not at camp right now.
So with you, but I want to hear why you feel it.
Well, I'm just saying, I think he's earned that right to, stay with his family, do whatever he's doing, rest, recuperate. He's not a young guy, but who I'm pissed off that's not there is a guy that the Bears invested in free agency, is Al-Qadim Muhammad is not there. I have a problem with that.
I'm with you. You're new to this stage, new to the team. You want to set the personality of who you are with your new teammates to be.
And he came here with Flus. I mean, he knows but this is something that you have to look at. Again, you don't know how these guys, this is a dude that's bounced around. You know what I mean? He was drafted, been on a couple of different teams, follows Flus to Chicago. He gets some guaranteed money now. Now we see, the true measure of a man once he's been paid. And to me, I'm excited about the player. I'm excited about the talent. I think he fits here. I am not happy that he's not here. And it's something that I'm going to focus on moving forward.
I am with you. I just think that if you're a piece of the coach and the coach is setting the tone for everybody, you should be the first in line to be there. So I'm with you. It's very, very odd, I'll say. We'll see how it transitions in minicamp when it's mandatory, because again, much like your opinion on politics, you can sit on either side and still be friends. You don't have to get caught up right here. Mini camp will be the definition. And to answer Bullet's question, I don't believe anything Jason Lockenfor is saying. That's probably the opposite. So if Lockenfor is saying that, then Quinn has never said it, in my opinion. I'm not nearly as fanatical about not being a fan of him as Shane is.
My nemesis.
We had the Lockenfor song. I got to bring that back. when he breaks some news like this.
Yeah.
Locking for. So, but who else was in there? There was one other player that I thought was really great too, and
I got a Lucas Patrick one off.
You
of
got a
just
clip?
like growth and stuff. Yeah. Here, I'll play it.
They get better and compete and get tough. So fired up that our GM is a former offensive lineman because I think he gets it to the core what it takes to build an offensive line, and it's tough competition, smart.
Yeah.
It's like guys who love football and like just
shouting out the
I think it's
GM.
great.
Jake.
I mean, bring 30 guys in. Like we can only
Bring
have
30.
5, and it's only going to push
This is what
guys
I love
further. It's
about
going
this
to push
part.
me further.
Bring
I'm going to push other
competition?
guys further.
What?
Competition. That's what I love about
I
this.
can't think of a better scenario, even for me as a veteran, having so many young guys that, they see different things or they're asking me questions. And I got to be even more on top of
That's a
my
leader.
game and what I know mentally, because I know they're going to ask a ton of questions and I have to be right. So it all around, there's a ton of great things.
That's a great showcase of somebody being transparent and being honest about the situation. That's why there is hope, like Gary Williams said. And there's guys like that are out there leading the way. These are the pillar pieces that you're looking for the Chicago Bears to have captains be captains that are actually season-long leaders of the locker room.
We're going to sign a guy. We're going to sign a guy the week of the Green Bay game that used to play for Green Bay and name him the captain since, those are his buddies. That's absolutely the way that you do this. Absolutely.
Yeah. Equinemius St. Brown, you're the leader. Get out there.
Green Bay. Put Equinemius out there. Yeah. I mean, these things to me infuriated me. And then I had these guys like the blog boys.
These guys will tell you the best abilities is availability.
And that kind of shit drives me insane in competition for this network, because I knew watching the tape that Nagy was a piece of shit and that he was a shoe salesman. And it would infuriate me that on top of the non-teaching, the coaching, there was no accountability. There's no leaders. There's no foundation of a winning culture of what your expectation should be. So that being said, seeing these players speaking what they're learning, and that's what you do as a coach. You hope when you leave that locker room and the words that you've said. Now, I've had players come up to me and say, you know what? I hated you back then. Now I love you now, because everything you said was hard for me to hear, but it was 100% the truth. And that's where you're not trying to make friends, Nagy. You're trying to win. And sometimes winning might mean putting Tariq Cohen's ass on the sideline and putting David Montgomery out there another 7 times to put it in the end zone. That feel was never there. So the best ability isn't availability. It's always been accountability. And until we see it, now we're hearing it, and it's getting us all excited about hope. Speaking of hope, next week, I hope you tune in. We are going to have a special show, pop-up show next week about hope. The album, the TTNL album, everybody is talking about it. Everyone's been asking about it. Next week, me and Cool Kennedy will have a special show. So keep on here on our YouTube channel about the TTNL album with all the songs from Jackal Don't Do Shit. I don't know where he is tonight. He left.
He's not doing shit.
Is everything okay?
I don't know.
He got an early morning. So
okay. Yes, He's in my shout outs. I kid, Jackal. I love you. Claudio bounced too, but yes, that Jackal don't do shit. Keeping it 100. Hope, obviously, the name of the album and the song Blog Boys. Leno is gone. All the classics, a couple surprises, and one new song about the brotherhood of this network and what this network is. So maybe everybody on this picture right now, this screen, your television, might have a lyric of their own. Cars is like, that's old hat. I'm on every show. We got a Bears nerd. Anyway, that'll be a trivia question. Anyway, final thoughts before we go to shout outs. Anything, Cars, Cherie, that we missed? I don't want to miss anything.
No, we're very economical, my family.
I don't think there's anything we missed.
I guess we missed uneducated takes. Before we do shout outs, let me get this out there to you this weekend, obviously, is Memorial Day weekend. And here at TTNL, no one stands up and salutes bigger than the network for the veterans and all of you veterans that have served this country, and you families and your grandfathers or grandmothers or mothers or fathers or cousins, whoever. The service of this country, as much as there is problems and some people can't handle that truth. Everything's good. Everything's great. That isn't the truth. But at the end of the day, this country is amazing, and it allows us to have these conversations. And this great game of football was born. Yes, it was born here in New Haven, by the way, if you do your research, by Walter Camp. So again, New Haven, Connecticut, created football, you fucks. So how about that? And the best pizza in the world. Anyway, we'll be back because it's Memorial Day. Our patron breakdown of my guy Braxton Jones. Me and my father would be breaking down Braxton Jones on Friday. So you're going to have to pay attention. Friday evening, we are going to go live. That's 2 days away. Jesus.
And Braxton very much is in play at starting left tackle. He is very, very much in play at that.
Coming up tomorrow on YouTube. Anyways.
Oh, sorry.
Nope. Oh my God. No, I just got that joke.
Shout out Tape Never Lies. Shout out, I know you hear me, baby. Shout out, I know you see me, baby. Shout out, we gotta holler at you. Keep it 100 crew, gotta show love too. Shout out, I know you hear me, baby. Shout out, I know you see me, baby. Shout out, we gotta holler at you. Keep it 100 crew, gotta show love too. From the fans in the stands to the follows on the gram. Thanks for your support, showing love in the DM. We stay Spencer strong, fight together till the end. Now it's time to shout out worldwide friends and fam. Like
the network that keeps it real, 100 crew. So many in the world that I gotta show love to. For some this policy, the show is at its end. But for me it's so important to thank the charter members and the fans. Built the network, speak the truth through the tape. Never run around the truth, no narratives we create. Set them straight, no bubble screen on 4th and 8. Audio Jane getting nervous cause keeping them up too late. That's it, no more to say to get the shot of vital. But hurry up, cause the postman's getting homicidal.
Shout out, I know you hear me, baby. Shout out, I know you see me, baby. Shout out, we gotta holla at you. Keep it 100 crew, gotta show love too. Shout out, I know you hear me, baby. Shout out, I know you see me, baby. Shout out, we gotta holla at you. Keep it 100 crew, gotta show love too.
The network that keeps it real. Sense is strong.
I don't give a fuck that he smokes weed. They all smoke weed.
Smoke weed every day.
You fuck yourself.
Yeah. There you go.
God, I'm
Yes.
angry. Yeah.
Where is Claudio when I need him most? I don't know where he is. How do I do this? There we go. I was going to ask you. Shout out song. That'll be on the album as well. There's Our Live and a bunch of other. The Cobb Quickie might make an appearance. I don't know. Claudio's Cut It Out.
Oh, this is Claudio the Barber.
Yes.
It's got to. That's a good one.
Yo, we should do a song, Cool Kennedy, called Yo, it's
What about this one?
Claudio.
Golly, what the hell is going on?
We're gonna give you. That was well done. A lot of good drops tonight, guys.
Yeah.
You're on point tonight. That's why my favorite stuff in the show is always the drops and the timing. Good nights or bad nights. It's like golf. I don't even play golf, but your drop game was great tonight. So your putting game was great, I guess, in golf. But I guess if you get more offended by us talking about real shit than that song, then you have a problem. I'll just say that. You have a problem. Oh, Cherie, shout outs. Do you have any shout outs tonight?
Of course I do. First off, shout out to you guys. Specifically you, Phil, your family stuff, the girls. Shout out to you guys. I know you're going through a trying time right now. So just want to send positive vibes and prayers your way, constantly praying for your strength to get through this time. Of course, shout out to the rest of you guys on the panel. I always have fun with you every night. And in the spirit of this upcoming weekend being Memorial Day, I would like to shout out, because as Chubbs did mention, Memorial Day is more of a remembrance of those we lost in service, not necessarily veterans. We have our own day. But just in the spirit of that, I would like to shout out Staff Sergeant Davis' family, who was lost in battle on my first deployment to Iraq. So shout out to him, his family, and the times that the struggle that they've had to go through getting through losing a loved one. Because service members, yes, we serve our country, but the families that support us and are back home also are serving their country because they know the risk that their loved ones are taking when they volunteer to serve. So shout out to the families of those who serve and those we've lost in service.
Well said. Well said, Cherie. AB, the producer, getting some love tonight from a guest. That's your first. That's your first.
First and only, probably, right?
Nope.
Nope. I gotta say, shout out to Robb Elementary School. Everyone that's been affected by the senseless acts of one trash human being. I mean, we always hear Jackal say this all the time. You know, he says, you know, if you haven't spoke to someone in a while, reach out. Well, if you see someone making some, you know, horrible remarks on like Facebook or social media, don't be afraid there even to reach out to authorities or somebody and let it be known that there's someone out there that could maybe possibly cause harm to people. Just make sure that you do your due diligence and try to make sure that everyone's safe at all times. You know, that's really all I got on that. It's just try to be a good person, and it's not snitching when there's a life and death matter. That one phone call maybe could have changed everything that happened yesterday. So that's all I got.
That's what he got. Well said. Cars.
You know, on top of everybody, it's a silly one, but I want to shout out my little daughter Maisie, who is getting in trouble for trash talking on the soccer field. So I'm extremely proud.
Getting her jersey. I already told Cars I'm ordering a Maisie jersey.
She literally, they were up 3-1 or 3-0, and the other team scored and was trying to celebrate their goal. And Maisie was walking up to all the girls celebrating, holding three fingers right in front of their face. So, the most killer mentality child that I have raised. But in a serious note, you know, we've all known people and family members that have served and given their life and sacrifices for our country. And, you know, I'd be remiss if we didn't just take a moment and, you know, there's always a lot going on, and there's obviously, we joke about it being barbecues and drinks and all that good stuff. But sometimes it's good for us to remember kind of why we are the nation that we are, what the people that brought us here, the people that protect us, the people that continue to do these completely selfless acts and put themselves in harm's way so that many of us don't need to be in harm's way. So with that, really thank you, everyone. I know it's not necessarily for folks who have actively served, but in a way, you all have probably served with people like Cherie that you know have passed in the active duty. So thank you, everyone, and it's really greatly appreciated.
Yeah.
Well said. And thank you, Cherie, for your service as well to this country.
Absolutely.
And great job, Cars, as always. Shane. Got anybody?
Yeah, I'm gonna shout out two people. I'm gonna start off with my boy on this panel, Phil Atoshin. You know, it's a good one because it's important. You know, we always bust your balls more than anybody on this network, and gotta praise you because, like I said, you're our leader here. And when your family needs a helping hand or needs a hug or just needs to be a sounding board, I want you to know that, and I'm not going to speak for everybody else, but I know their thoughts on it. You know, no matter what, that I'm always going to be there for you guys through thick and thin, no matter what. Every time. It's not idle talk. It's not bullshit. It's not, I'm going to blame everything else and woe is me. You're my ride or die. You're my brother for life, and I love you. And it's just a testament to the strength of you and Steph dealing with what you're dealing with. And everybody should be proud to know Phil and the way that he's handled this situation, because there's a lot of people that would shut down for a lot longer than he did. It's tough what we do to be open in times when it's not easy to be open. So I just wanted to get that out there, Phil, because I know I'm the jokester on the panel, but when there's a time and a place to be serious, and this is one of them. And I know I tell you, and I know that you know, but sometimes it's nice to hear it publicly.
I appreciate it, honestly. Thank you. It means a lot more than you could know.
Yep.
And thank you for that.
And one more, I think I did share this with Cars. Nobody else knows here. Tomorrow is a monumental day for my family. My mom gets to ring her bell tomorrow.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
Wow.
Congratulations. That
Yeah,
is awesome
it's-
news.
Unfortunately, we can't share the experience with her because of the rules and restrictions and the way that they are nowadays. But I'll be there in spirit. My oldest sister Terry will be taking her in and documenting it for the rest of the family. So mom's closing one chapter in her medical journey, and we face some new medical journeys as we move forward. But to get over this hurdle, it's a big one. The two of the most important people in my life, my son and my mother, letting them know, how much they mean to me, and seeing them both being able to experience that moment. Because if you can watch all the YouTube videos that you want, from somebody else, it's always emotional. And when you experience it for yourself, or somebody close to you, it hits different. And it definitely hits different when it's your 10-year-old son at the time or your 82-year-old mother. So shout out to my mom. I love you. Gonna kill it tomorrow, and ring it loud and proud, like they say. And I'm looking forward to watching the video.
It's awesome.
That's amazing, and I want to echo that. Just as I said, TTNL, for everything that's been so amazing about this network. We've all had some sort of tragedy that is, I don't know what to say. Maybe it's a test, but I'm gonna be stronger, and I know you are. I mean, there's nobody more close to a son than their mom, or maybe their dad. I don't know, but the parent will say, "Oh, there is that relationship." So, thank you, and I'm so happy for you because I'm just hearing about this now, and it's Shane with a Y, Adam. For you and your mom and your family. So that's awesome. You get to ring that bell.
Yep.
I can think of many songs with that statement in it. Ring that bell. The Mars songs, ring that bell. There you go. Listen, I'd be remiss if I didn't shout out everybody here, because like I said in my emotional rant early in the show, you always see late chat comments because you recognize, oh, they're just starting the show. I'm like, what? I didn't. But anyway, but TTNL is family. And when someone's going through something, it's always a measure of friendship, to me anyway, of who is real and who is not. And when you're going through something, because I honestly have been through a lot in my life, but nothing like this. So I don't know what it makes me. I'm not sure, but I know I love this family and this escape, and to talk about football and the Chicago Bears, and to be interactive with people and never hide my feelings, my true feelings, whether you agree or not. I think it gets to the point where it's important to agree to disagree and step away, because we're not going to solve the world. We've seen that. And my opinion shouldn't shape yours, nor should yours shape mine. However, we learn. And I learned a lot about this network through my tragedy and my family's, because family is first. And I want to shout out all of you fans that put positive energy to us, and all of you people that reached out to me privately to make and share those thoughts. They didn't go unnoticed. And I even heard cars say nice things about me, apparently.
No, didn't happen. No, not sure what you're talking about.
No evidence there, right?
I would never say something like that on a recorded podcast with thousands of views. Absolutely not. No.
Thank God we have video.
Bratcher, you didn't delete that yet?
Son of a! You were supposed to clean that up in post. What is going on?
But in all seriousness, I found out this truth, and I'll share it with you. And I'm covering a broad stroke, I know that. And then I want to say something about our military, just so everyone knows. In life, you get one life. You get one life. And how do you want to choose it? How do you want to choose it? Do you want to be a good person, or do you want to be a fraud? You have that choice. I know I've made mistakes, and I've stood in front of everybody to say my apologies for them or embrace the growth of what we've done. And when I've gone through this, you find out that you have a hell of a lot more friends than you even could have imagined. And that phenomenal strength of people just wanting to let you know that you're on their mind. I don't want to go through the whole list, but I want you all that did that to know it meant more than you could think of, because my mind was in shock, and knowledge, which is normally infinite, was minuscule. So you just don't know how to make a choice or a decision or say something as a dad. It's just very, very hard. That being said, it was you, the strength of this network, and the producers and the analysts and everybody that stepped up that really pushed me to recognize what Claudio and many of you have said. This is an escape on Wednesday nights. This network, all of you fans, thank you so much for everything you've done for this network and sharing it and allowing us the stage to be vulnerable. Now, my last thing is to our military. I want to shout you out like Sharif or Sir. If you have served or know somebody, as much as we delve into the politics and policies and we can read and find footnotes and laws that will side, almost like the way people use Bible verses to fit their stance. For me, at the end of the day, those people that have sacrificed their lives in any war are to be toasted and cherished, because somebody raised that person, somebody else raised that person, and they lost their family. So when I think about everybody, including Kenneth Davis, who came on the show tonight, shout you out, Kenneth, for coming on and being a great guest. All of you that have served in the military, and to those families in Texas that are dealing with the tragedy, and in Buffalo that are dealing with the tragedy, I send my positive vibes and energy to you, to hope that you have the kind of friends and the kind of people surrounding you that I do. That being said, we'll be back next week with another guest. Hopefully Bratcher or Jackal scheduled somebody, or they don't.
I can get you someone right away if you need. You just tell me. Might not like him.
I don't know who is going. I don't know if it's Dion Miller next week. We just have to finalize, or if it's somebody else. I'm just being transparent. But we will have a show next Wednesday. If you're a patron, we'll be breaking down Braxton Jones on the tape, where the tape matters most, right there. That being said, nobody
likes brags.
Oh, Nobody is going to tell us how we're going to end the show. And nobody's going to tell us what we need to do. And I'm looking for the song. Where is it?
What are you looking for?
There it is. I hope you have hope. We'll release the album next week. Surprise pop-up show. I have hope because I have a lot of people I need to thank, and all of you. God bless and good night, TTNL. Thank you, Shane, for those kind words. Fuck you, Cars. And I love you, Sheree.
Fuck yourself.
There's hope, guys. There's hope.
I hope
if
there's
you got
hope.
the right people. I hope that is hope.
That's going to be the quote, the name of this show, Shane. I hope there's hope.
There's hope.
I hope there's hope.
I hope that there's hope. Okay.
I hope there's hope.
There's hope, guys.
I hope there's hope.
That there's hope. Okay.
I hope there's hope.
There's hope, guys.
I hope that there's hope.
That there's hope. Okay.
I hope there's hope. We gotta take the North back. I'm sick of night terrors. It's a new era. Hope I see it on my tarot. But on a lighter note, patch the boat and set sails with a pint of ale. Accountability is on the field. The offense gotta revolve around Jay Fields like a 38 special. If blog boys don't even know Montgomery is special. Pose handed the torch to Eberflus. Now he got the juice. Like we gotta run the ball. Number 32. No OJ. Montgomery's the Harvey Plaza gang could clear the way. At all costs gotta win. Kicks hit, got that 94 sound like Rob Quinn. Pose beefing up the old line. No more looking back to the old times. Hope is close when the sun shines. I hope there's hope.
There's hope, guys.
They should have hope.
I hope that there's hope.
Have hope. They should have hope.
There's hope, guys.
I hope there's hope.
There's hope, guys.
I hope that there's hope.
That there's hope. Okay.
Hey yo, I get all we got is some clippers with some names. Gonna get real truth when the Bears play the game. The tape never lies, so many skeptics we don't change. Maybe a rant from your boy or some facts made by James. We moving on, we never got lie. Getting hope from a pole, not a twerk dancing trip, but this GM wants to know. Bears need accountability, a real head coach. Enter Mr. Eberflus, who don't accept the loaf. That's dope, no smoke. Skywalker, new hope. Jedi mind tricks, just a fan at the air. Picking up the fucking pieces, put together the foundation. Justin Fields under center, audible in collaboration. Mooney with the catch, twin stripping sacks. Monty in the backfield, the identity's back. Sugar sweet, missing tackles, Bojack Low. A Bears new culture, I hope
there's hope.
There's hope, guys.
I hope that there's hope.
That there's hope. Okay.
I hope there's hope.
They should have hope.
There's hope, guys.
I hope that there's hope.
That there's hope. Okay.
Yeah, competition. Come and compete. Everyone. There's no bias. There's no nothing. We're just gonna make sure that the best players are on the field, and that should mean a lot.
There's hope, guys. There's hope.